Hello and welcome back to the CounterCast. How are all you vital idols doing? Yo, it has been one hell of a weekend, let me tell you. But your boy is back from vacation, and we ready to do one hell of a show for you. But we can't do this alone. I know this is normally a panel show, but I come to find out when you try and host something at the tail end of a holiday weekend, folks got plans. And let's be real, the real world is far more important than the internet. But we had this on the books, and we weren't going to cancel it. We weren't going to postpone it. So I got my boy Theo Snodgrass here, my man. We met in Vegas. Tell the people who you are and what you do.
What's up, buddy? Happy to be here. My name is Theo Snodgrass. I'm a comedian and podcaster. I live in Las Vegas, Nevada. And I'm super happy to be here. I have no plans. What's up, buddy?
We did end up having a last-minute contributor to join the panel, my man BCL. But that being said, he's unimportant. Theo, continue. You're the guest of honor, not this drunk.
No, I'm happy to be here. I have no plans. I do not. This is the most important thing I had on my calendar, buddy. Happy to be here. Wouldn't miss it for the world.
I feel the same way.
Man. And Blue, what about you? Obviously, you had a long-ass stream from what I heard. What you got going on?
I spent 9 hours in Kazan. So far, 80 hours total. But yeah, dude, the fucking graphics, the music, it's right up there with Elden Ring. I highly recommend everyone buy Kazan. It's a great game, man.
Yeah, it's on my list. I'm wondering if my PC will run it, but I absolutely do plan on getting into Berserk Kazan because I mean, dude, that art style, it looked
because it's like watching Dragon Ball Z. Of course, the last boss is a whole like different transformations. One point looking up and I'm like, you're fucking joking, right? Like I've got one form, but two forms, like die already.
Well, we're gonna get into it. We got plenty of topics to talk about. I mean, beyond what's in the headlines here. Jurassic World, James Gunn. We got some stuff about the cursed Jeffrey Epstein, and it turns out the government screwed the pooch big on that one. Plus, we're gonna get to know Theo since this is your first time on the show. We've had a lot of repeat guests lately, but this is your first time. Before any of that, we gotta acknowledge some of y'all vital idols up in this bitch, and some of you showed up early, such as Watcher X, aka the lovely Pouty. Milfs are a myth, Scarjo. Okay. I'm gonna get to the rest of the vital idols, but first I gotta hash this out with you guys here on the panel. Is this true? Are MILFs a myth?
No.
I mean, Scarjo, I don't know if I would consider a MILF or not, but but I don't think MILFs in general are myths. I don't know. Do you guys consider Scarjo a MILF? Is she even a mom? Don't you have to be a mom to be a MILF?
Of course she is.
She have kids?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's be honest, guys. Have you seen this woman called Salma Hayek lately?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. Salma Hayek is almost 60, and she's a grandmother. And have you seen Salma Hayek lately?
Even when she was supposed to be ugly and like a strung out, drug addict in that Owen Wilson Amazon film, she was like a babe. So
yeah.
Theo, you got thoughts on
absolutely. I have a couple of stage bits about MILFs. MILFs are important, man. They're it's like having a mom you can actually please. You know what I mean? It's like they're incredible. It's important. It's a perfectly valid life stage for a man to go through to enjoy the company of an older woman. You learn so much. It's important. Honestly, women don't understand how important MILFs are to a man's development. A MILF will turn you into a gentleman. That'll take you from boy to man. It's critical. They're not even that rare.
Again,
like I object to the chat's trying to tell me that MILFs are rare. It's like, bro, do you live in a major metro? I live in Las Vegas. I tell you, I walk down the street, I would bump into 4 of them if I left my house right now. I promise you.
Yeah. The idea of MILF being rare, like again, I was in my early to mid 20s when I was going through my MILF stage, and let me tell you, not only was it not rare, but like you said, it was formative and it was informative. So it was 2 different types of IVs. Let's see, we got Golden Apple is here throwing up the 4-star ball. Collect the rest of the 7. Binge yellow card in the house. I'm not reading that first message, at least not without a super chat, because that was disgusting. Daxon, our best mod in the whole damn land, is here. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much for showing up. Joseph's Frost Ghost. Oh, dude, I don't know if you you're a regular viewer and there was just a name change because I see that you're a member. So whoever you were initially, I'm digging this. That's a deep cut reference. I appreciate that reference. Ratnat Scoobla is in the house. Mike Lee, the Prude Whisperer. Saint Hugo, hail to you, sir. Kalika Gamer. Paul Bitersmith, the IRL bestie. Of course, we got BCL in the house. Dude, you're okay. Your stream shit comes before whatever it is that I'm asking mine. Here's the true account of the ever lovely Piranha Pout. Suns and Shadows is in this bitch. You'll love to see it. Thank you so much, Suns and Shadows. And we doing some cool stuff with them in the month of October. LG Gilmers is keep killing it, Leon. I'm doing my best, my man. I believe, and of course, we got Theo talking to the chat in there. Zalozy is here. Fresh as fuck, though. Again, yeah, I don't know that I agree with that. D-Mag in the house. Mage Wolf throwing up the horns, bro. As someone that just spent last weekend at a straight up metal show, throw up them horns. It was a great time. Little Miss Anonymous saying me, yowdy, y'all. I don't know if I can really hit those notes right now. My voice is a little shot. Is that Soul Assassin is here? Sergeant Giratina is here. And with that, I do believe we have hit everyone we have. And I'm sure more of you will shuffle in as the night goes on. But guys, we start the show off the same way we do every show, which is before we get into the degradation that is the internet. I like talking about what we positive in life, whether it be nerd culture, your own lives, whatever it may be. Blue, let's start with you. What are you feeling good about, my friend?
Positive to be here with you.
Okay, but besides the homoeroticism, like what are you feeling good about besides the gay shit?
Like it just like this summer I'm just trying to do Uber and DoorDash again full time because everybody hates their job and I hated my job and it was soul sucking, dude. And just I'm having a good time just going freelance again. Quit? Yeah. So I'm just like I'm kind of freelancing right now. But the thing is having a CDLB, I'm on Indeed every single day. I'll come back. So I just got like, everybody, the old job paid the bills, but I'm tired of working 12-hour days with 5-minute breaks, not joking. And even as hard as I work, man, I'm just sick and tired of it. Like, fuck it, man. There's jobs that pay the bills and I can't do it no more. So,
bro, no. Here's some celebration tunes for you. That Sonic Adventure celebration level complete music for finishing that out, man. Way to go. You love to see it. Theo, what about you? What are you feeling good about? What are you feeling positive about in life or nerd culture, whatever it may be?
Oh, I'm really excited. I'm about to go on a road trip. I'm going back to my old stomping grounds, the Pacific Northwest. I recently moved to Las Vegas, Nevada for the career opportunities. Super happy I did that, but I've got some shows in the Pacific Northwest that I'm very excited about. I'm going to some places that I haven't been to before. In Washington and Oregon. So it's going to be a really good opportunity up there. I'm very excited. I love going on the road to the Pacific Northwest. It's beautiful.
So being a comedian in Vegas and just being a comedian in general, I got to ask, because I have an unpopular opinion on this. What are your thoughts on Carrot Top?
I can't really hate on anybody who makes a living at comedy. I got to give it to him. Like at the end of the day, his face is on a billboard and people at his shows laugh at what he does. So even if I don't get it, as long as people are laughing, that's the whole point. So I got to give it to him. He's made a career for himself. And like I said, at the end of the day, his face is on a billboard and mine isn't. So, when my face is on a billboard, I'll talk shit.
Oh, yeah, I won't lie. I'm an unabashed Carrot Top lover. Like I will go to bat for Carrot Top. I don't know what it is, but I absolutely try to evangelize people. Absolute apologies for Carrot Top. I think that he's funny as shit. I know he went through that weird period where he decided to get jacked, and people were like, "Oh, dude, wow,
what's fuck his arms? He wakes up just doing curls. That's all he does.
Yeah.
It's like this.
Dude, I've always found him funny. Well, maybe not always. He did some movies that weren't good, but like as far as that goes, I've always found him funny. So I never really understood where the Carrot Top hate came from. But
you know why? Because Carrot Top uses props, and for a time period, I guess it was like taboo to use props as your comedy act. That's why.
Yeah, but didn't he more or less like he was the guy that made prop comedy a thing, right? I mean, there weren't many before him, were there?
Yeah. Well, no. I think comedians started that because they're haters because he was successful and they didn't like it. I think that's what started the Carrot Top hate trade, and then people just repeated it because it's an easy joke. It's like Nickelback is out here selling out arenas.
I was gonna say Nickelback and Spider-Man 3 are things that are good, but the people hate because the internet told them it was bad when it's not.
And people are sheep. And it's like, okay, well, if these people, if Nickelback sucks so bad, how do they keep making platinum records and selling out arenas if they suck so bad?
That fuck, I love the Deadpool tune, Fred Savage. Wait a second. Deadpool breaks it down.
Well, and like, I have a theory about Nickelback. And frankly, I don't care what other people say because I know I'm right because I'm me. But here's my theory about Nickelback. Nickelback is too diverse. Usually you got a band, they're in their niche. They stay in that niche. I mean, think about a band every now and again. Like, let's say you're a metal band and they release an album that like, oh, it's a little bit softer. The metal community freaks out or whatever. You got a pop group that decide to add guitars on a record. All of a sudden, this is too heavy. But Nickelback is incredibly diverse. They've released pop songs and ballads and metal songs. They've even released a fucking disco track. And I think that they're too heavy for the regular folk that like they want some easy listening. They've got too many like soft rock or soft pop hits for the metalheads. There's no like actual genre for Nickelback, and that level of diversity actually makes people hate on them more. But that's my theory.
No, I mean technically speaking, they're a rock band, but like you said, dude, the thing is like their fucking albums, like the song Lullaby, it's a woman fucking dying in childbirth, and a dad's gonna raise his kid by himself. Like, and like even someday somehow it's about, you know, after this guy's girlfriend dies, he joins her in the afterlife. There's some deep fucking themes in Nickelback songs, man.
Well, this got really depressing really early, so we're going to read it in with our first story. Not really a story per se, just something I saw on the internet and was curious about, because I like to start off the show with these bit of sort of clickbaity things, and then we'll get into the actual news. But Meme Bastard posted, "What is your video game Mount Rushmore?" And I'm curious. Theo, are you a gamer? Obviously, you're a nerd. You know, we found you at the Vegas meetup, and that was how I met you. So clearly, you've got some nerd in you. But has your comedy career sort of superseded that? You follow a lot of the nerd culture stuff nowadays? Are you a gamer? What's that like?
I do. I love games for the culture. I don't have as much time to spend gaming as I used to. It's the crux of growing up, is that when you're a kid, you think, oh, I can't wait till I'm an adult and I have money. I'm going to buy all the games I want. And then you get to be an adult and you're spending all your time doing stuff and you don't have any time to game. It's terrible.
Damn right.
That's why I've started streaming games as of late, because I realized, how can I call myself a gamer if I'm not playing games or doing all my downtime? People don't know that I'm playing games, so they think I'm just grifting online. So, all right, fine, I'll start fucking streaming them just to prove it. Well, so
that's my friend said. He goes, dude, he's like, you bought Kazan like 4 months ago. I'm like, because some was the work. I mean, for some people, 80 hours. Some guys play 80 hours in 2-3 days. It take me 4 months to play Kazan. So I'm only playing like 20 hours a month. That's not a lot of time, considering to be a gamer. Like, guys, I'm playing a half hour every third or fourth day. Like.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're a working stiff. So that being said, we'll start with you, Theo. Who's on your Mount Rushmore gaming?
Oh, let's see. Well, I think to start with, I think we got to put Link from Zelda on there first. That's me, but I think Nintendo has to get some representation in there, and for me, that's going to be we gotta have that. Let's see. I don't know. Listen, the Xbox 360 era is my peak era for gaming. So I think we got to put Master Chief there from Halo.
I'll accept that.
Let's get, because I think that was one of the definitive games of that console. Chat's saying Mario. Actually, Mario. Yeah. Gosh. Yeah. I don't know. I want to get some PlayStation representation over there. Let's say who. I don't know, maybe Snake from Metal Gear Solid to get that PlayStation representation. What do you guys think?
I mean, he's on this one right here. I would agree. I think Snake. I mean, I'm not a Metal Gear fan because I don't like Kojima, but I understand that I'm in the minority. So the way you said you didn't understand certain comedians, I don't understand the love for Kojima. I think he's an overrated hack, but that's just me. So yeah, Snake's a good one.
Yeah, for sure. And then let's see who. Yeah, you know what? Honestly, yeah, I think we got to give some love to the big story games. I think we got to do either the Dragonborn from Skyrim or maybe Master Chief from Mass Effect. We got to have, or not Master Commander Shepard from Mass Effect. Commander Shepard from Mass Effect or the Dragonborn from Skyrim. We got to give some kind of love to these giant sandbox, free ranging story games, because
I like the idea of the Dragonborn, because that just bit will look cool on a mountain, just carved into a fucking mountain, the giant Dragonborn face. Yeah, so aesthetically, I think that's a better call.
Yeah, for sure.
Chris, what about you, my friend?
This will be kind of weird, but my Mount Rushmore is different. I'm gonna go by what's pop culture. Like my mother, my mom has never played a video game in her life. She knows who Mario is. Mario's got to be on there. My sisters know who fucking Pac-Man is. That's the thing. And love or hate him, Master Chief did change the genre for first-person shooters, and I would say Lara Croft, because again, non-gamers, Lara Croft between movies, video games, comic books, and stuff. But people, animes, people know who Lara Croft is. A lot of girls grew up wanting to be Lara Croft. So even though I want Dante and Kratos to be on there, and we're talking pop culture, those are the OGs. I mean, Lara Croft, Mario, Pac-Man. We're still talking about them in fucking 2025.
That's a great list as well. I did go ahead and actually make mine. Thank you, AI. So we got, and again, these are my personal picks, because pop culture wise, Blue kind of beat me for sure. Got Sonic the Hedgehog, Jill Valentine. I'm with Theo. I threw Link up there, and then Dante from Devil May Cry. This is my own personal Mount Rushmore. Yeah. I was weary about having 2 Capcom entries on there, but I was like, you know what, fuck it. It's my own personal Mount Rushmore. So, Sonic, Link, Jill Valentine.
In terms of gaming, you're right, though. I mean, Resident Evil for gamers, Resident Evil, Devil May Cry, Sonic for gamers are relevant. There are the OGs, but that's why I said pop. You have gamers versus what you call normies.
Which is nothing wrong with being a normie. Just know that you were beneath all of us. It's fine. You can be beneath us. That's cool. All right. I'm really glad you're here for this particular week, Theo, because I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Blue, you as well, but like as a comedian, this was going to be on the docket either way, but since you are here, Destiny's been on fire. So obviously we got the floods going on in Texas, and absolutely terrible situation, horrible. You know, what can be said about people being like, boo? Like, I understand. That being said, I'm not going to pretend that my heart bleeds about this because bad shit happens every day all across the world. I can't fake outrage about this when there's all over. But Destiny says, I heard God killed those kids because they were using @NordVPN promo code Destiny to get around the Texas porn ban. Is this too far? Is this inappropriate? What are your thoughts as a comedian on this joke?
I mean, God bless him for trying. I don't know what audience he was hoping to find with that. Didn't NordVPN sue him? I heard they sued him for doing such a shitty ad.
They were actually, I don't know if they've sued him yet, but as of 18 hours ago, hello everyone. This tweet falsely suggests a sponsorship with us. No such relationship exists. We're reviewing this misuse of our trademark. Honestly, I was going to get to that as well. So they're at least aware of the situation.
Oh man, that's tough. Oh man, I don't know. I don't know what audience he was hoping to find with that. I don't know if anybody's enjoyed that. Again, I'm not
I would imagine.
I'm not a Destiny guy, so I don't know. Maybe that's the kind of humor his audience has grown accustomed to. Like I said, maybe there's an audience for it. Not my cup of tea. God bless him. It's oh man, that's tough. I feel bad for NordVPN. Imagine being NordVPN. You got all these sponsorship deals. You're fucking crushing it. You know, you're making a great product and you're probably one of the leaders in your industry. And then you wake up this morning and this shit happens and now you have to deal with it.
Well,
the bar was low, but fucking hell. What about you, Blue? What do you think of this comment?
Leon, you know me. I will listen to the most raunchiest, fucked up shit. Like, that's why we love each other for, man. We black comedy, dark comedy, whatever. Also, as a father, if my kid just died in a fucking flood, trust me, Destiny, I can't legally say on Leon's channel what's going to happen to you when I find you. So it's like, I mean, there's pushing boundaries. You got to be careful, man. Pushing boundaries when it comes to kids, because ask Alex Jones and Sandy Hook. when people's kids get murdered in different situations, you joke about it. You got to be careful what the fuck you say. There's comedy. There are lines. And I mean, dude, that's not even fucking funny. NordVPN, because kids got Texas porn. Like, I think that there's definitely a good way to, like people said, there is a way to make rape jokes funny. It's like if fucking Kermit the Frog raped Miss Piggy, that's funny. But like there's a tasteful way to do it. And that's not it, man.
So I might have the unpopular opinion on this panel then, which I wasn't sure if would or not. Now, do I agree it's kind of a tasteless joke? Absolutely. Did I find it funny? No, mainly because it came from Destiny and he's not really known for being funny. That being said, I have seen so many, because Destiny's famously, super left leaning, super left wing, things like that. Basically, borderline socialist, not as bad as somebody's up there. And, he made a pretty good point in a follow-up tweet. I was like, yeah, well, I hate to give Destiny credit. I'll agree with him. He's like, don't let these moral grandstanders on the right throw a fit about, the joke I made. Oh, we just lost Blue. Throw a fit about the joke I made when they've been over here making jokes about deporting, deporting illegals and things like that. Well, you know what? I do see a lot of folks on the right making a lot of really raunchy jokes about, Mexican and stuff like that. It's like, well, if you're going to accept one, accept the other. Again, don't define it funny, but also don't pretend to be outraged about it. So I kind of agree with him in that regard.
Yeah. I'm not going to throw a shift. I'm not going to throw a shift at about. I'm going to be like, oof. Man, that's tough. Good for you. God bless you, bro. That's usually my.
That's what I'm saying, Theo. It's like if you want to make jokes, just remember, words have consequences. It's one thing joking about friends or family, but dead kids, man, that's a slippery slope, man. Do
you think? Also, before we go further, Cindy, you made it. I didn't think you were going to. You good?
I didn't think I would either, but the weather cleared up a little bit and it stopped thundering, so I was like, hey, I can hop on now.
Awesome. Well, yeah. In the case of Destiny here, I wonder if the situation would have been different if he didn't tag NordVPN, because like comedians use brands in their jokes all the time, right? I mean, Theo, do you have any jokes that are like brand oriented? Do you say like Cheetos instead of cheese puffs or anything like that?
No, I will pretend that brands are sponsoring my podcast when they're not. Like, like Peach Vibe Celsius is a sponsor on my show, whether they know it or not. Couldn't do the show.
The mango green tea myself right now. Celsius is my go-to drink.
Shout out to Celsius. Couldn't do the show without you. My show is also sponsored by Girls Who Deadlift and a few other things. It's just whatever pops into my head at that moment. So occasionally I'll throw it out there, but I would not. It's like I said, it's a huge fucking risk to like name drop a brand in a joke like that. And especially on Twitter, where it's like they're gonna see it. They're gonna see. Okay, apparently the chat likes her way better than likes me. That's fine.
She's my go-to co-host, but she's been AFK the last month due to real life stuff. So I'm fine.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm not taking it personally. I am secure. This is not hitting my ego at all.
Are you secure? Because isn't that the whole thing about comedians? Is that they're actually deeply insecure and they just need to be loved? Do you have mommy issues, Theo? Tell me about your mom.
I'll be your mom.
I don't have any idea what you're talking about. However, if any MILFs in the chat want to step on me later, that is fine. Hit my DMs.
He's talking to you.
No.
You ever been stepped on by a cartoon dragon?
Yeah, no, but I'm up for it. What do we get into here? Sounds like a great way to spend a Saturday afternoon.
I'm a dragon.
What was I going to say? Right. Yeah. Tagging the brand on Twitter, especially, is crazy. That's wild.
I'm curious how many people actually went to NordVPN and tried promo code Destiny. Like, is that how they found out about this? They kept getting like these alert notifications. Like, why are people using the code Destiny?
That's crazy. Like,
Did you hear about the nurse that commented on it too? She was she told everybody who died that supported Trump deserved it, and everybody who didn't, she hopes they go to heaven because they didn't deserve that. She immediately got fired.
That's what I'm saying.
No, I'm looking for it right now. I don't see. Hold on, I'll show the screen to show you what I do though.
I heard she's a general practitioner, which is actually almost even more worrisome.
Right, because wouldn't that mean she has her own practice?
I would think so, or at the very least that she like treats a lot of different people. So it's like,
oh boy.
Yes, he made fun of dead kids, implied kids are all porn addicts, and helped kids break the law all in one post. That's the hat trick, and that's why his son doesn't love him.
Rough.
Yeah, his son got permabanned on Twitch at one point for pulling out a gun saying he's gonna kill his father. So
I heard about that.
Desperate for Twitter box. Yeah, people aren't happy about this. I don't know. Maybe I'm just desensitized to it because I've grown up on the internet, but I didn't care that he made this. Again, I don't know if you can call it a joke, but comment. It just didn't bother me. I was like, oh, well, people saying stupid shit on the internet again. It's data ends in a Y.
Yeah, this is Destiny. This is not even the worst thing Destiny has ever said.
Right?
I mean,
well, moving on, I just thought that was I wanted to get a comedian's thoughts on it, so that worked really well. And then we got this. Now, this might be some meaty portions of the discussion because we're gonna do a bit of a segment on Superman. Now, obviously, you guys in the chat know I've been talking about this for ages. I'm excited for this movie. I am. I will maintain being excited for this movie because I'm a Superman fan, even though I'm a James Gunn hater. Who here is on the panel, gives a shit about this movie besides me?
No, same. I mean, like you said, Leon, I'm in the middle where it's like nobody on the panel and your audience wants to hate Superman. Nobody wants to see a bad Superman film. The marketing's been very sketchy, but I'm going to this film wanting to like it.
Do you have your tickets yet for it? Are you gonna see it opening night?
Oh, definitely, yeah. I mean, I didn't do the Amazon thing because it was I was just going to see it on Wednesday night, or I think it's Thursday. I forgot now.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna see it Thursday. I'm gonna get off work and immediately go see it. What about you, Theo? Like, first of all, do you even have time to go see movies? Because I know you do various other shows, a lot of them pop culture related. So do you often get to invest the time into these pop culture sort of moments?
Yeah, I kind of keep sure. I'll catch it if it's on streaming. I don't know. I don't want to reward the goblins who are making pop culture right now with money. I
understand that completely. That's why I skip most films. I'm a big enough Superman fan that I'm trying to I feel like I have to for this one,
Yeah, well, dude, it might be great. I'm so at this point, I'm so jaded because of just having my expectations just dashed time and time again. However, yeah, I mean, some of the clips from this movie have been kind of cool, so we'll have to see.
And Sydney, I know how you feel about this film. If you want to regale the audience, just in case they're unaware, feel free to go off, girly.
It looks gay as fuck. Hell no, I'm not watching this.
Based.
Yeah. Sydney famously does not give a shit about this movie. Well, James Gunn, whether you want to see this movie or not, I feel like James Gunn needs to stop talking. James Gunn says Superman is about an immigrant that came from other places and how we've lost the value of basic human kindness. Yes, it's about politics.
We lost basic human kindness, but Superman still can't see straight, so we're worried about that more.
Why? Okay, let's say I have found in most experiences that whenever these directors and Dungeons and Dragons is a great example of this. Dungeons and Dragons, the writers and I believe it was the two lead writers for that film came out in an interview and they were talking about we love emasculating men. We find it's the funniest thing in the world to emasculate men, and we think it needs to be done in movies more because it's comedy gold. I said, well, you lost me. I'm a D&D fan. I'm a D&D player. My channel is initially based off D&D. So and I didn't end up seeing it in theaters. Came to streaming. My buddy wanted to watch it, so I was like, all right, fine, fuck it, we'll watch it. And none of that was in there. There was not any, emasculation or anything like that. And it was like, oh, so the writers were just saying what they thought was the politically correct thing to say, even though it's not even part of the film. And I've seen that to be a trend. So I'm hoping that this is not the case. It's not political, and they're not going to be referring to Superman as an immigrant. But if that's the case, congratulations. I guarantee you just lost people off this sentiment, just like D&D lost me because of the way the writers were speaking.
Yeah. Well,
any thoughts? Oh, sorry, go for it. Blue, I didn't realize you were ready to continue.
No, just at least the thing is, it's about politics. It's Superman's an immigrant. People aren't going to watch Superman or Batman or Spider-Man. Anybody, we don't want to hear. It's the one place people go to in video games. We escape politics because we're tired of being politics shoved down our fucking throats every 5 seconds. From Twitter to Instagram to our phones, like I go to see a Superman film to escape political talk, not to hear more of it. Like, come on, dude.
Yeah, but is he really is the whole problem like he's getting like shit on the internet and that's his big
I
issue?
think that was I think that was a rumor. I don't because like from ever since that story broke, which was weeks or if not months ago, there's been no word on it since. So I think that was one of those like viral not truths or half truths or whatever that people gravitated towards. I guess we'll find out next week when.
Yeah, but didn't they also say that this wasn't going to be political and then it's turning out to be political?
Well, that's the thing. Is it just James Gunn talking shit, or is it going to be political? Also, Tebow, my man with the Bland Bread Two Banger says, "I'm with Leon. If it sucks, this won't be why." Yes, I completely agree. Also, let's get you a clip, son. Again, I think that people are going to be taking a lot of this film out of context, just like I took this clip out of context.
I'd fuck one of the robot dogs.
Appreciation, Tebow. Thanks a mil, man. Dude, you didn't need to. Anyway, so what was I going? Oh, right. So, James Gunn, he's saying ridiculous shit. He's talking about this film. I think it's obviously, I don't know that it's going to impact it enough for it to matter, but I also just don't think that this is true. Like objectively speaking, Superman wasn't an immigrant so much as he was. Like even if you wanted to go with this line of thinking, Superman wasn't an immigrant; he was a refugee. But which I do think is different. So either way, it wouldn't make the wording that wording wouldn't make it any more palatable because this isn't why people are going to go see a Superman film. But I don't know. Again, I'm curious your guys' thoughts on the just the phrasing, or if you think that he's being honest about this.
I mean, Leon,
I was going to jump in. So when people like this say basic human kindness, what they mean is unlimited free stuff for everyone forever. And if you disagree, you're a big fat meanie. They don't have any concept of like scarcity or how policy is actually made. They have no idea. They have no idea what they're talking about. They're just like, be nice or else you're mean. Like it's just like a low IQ, low resolution take. And what's crazy about it is I really doubt that the movie has anything to do with that. I think he's just trying to tie it to a current headline that he doesn't really understand. And the problem is this. You see this all the time with people in entertainment. You've got people that are kind of midwits, but they have education. They have like a college education or whatever. But they also have a lot of free time, and their job isn't that hard. And they have a bunch of people who care about what they say and pay attention to what they say, and a bunch of people around them telling them that they're important. So then they take that and they're like, I'm important. I should pontificate on the issues of the day. But they're not actually educated on the issues of the day. They don't actually know anything. This is why we know Mark Ruffalo sucks. This is why we know Mark Hamill sucks. It's like we shouldn't know that they suck. That shouldn't be. We should just be like, oh man, Luke Skywalker was cool. That's it. That's all we should know about them. We shouldn't know that they suck. But because of fucking Twitter, now we know. Have
you found this has made your job as a comedian so much easier though? Like has writing the last few years been the easiest it's ever been, or has that actually been harder because you don't even know where to start?
Well, it's like I think the problem is like a lot of these people are they're just so vacuous and they spew nonsense all the time, and the real world has gotten so absurd. And part of it is that these people are so wealthy, they're completely out of touch with what normal people care about. So the stuff that they want to pontificate on is not stuff that's relevant to normal people's lives. Like if you go to middle America and talk to people about this, they're not going to have any idea what you're talking about.
My audience knows I live in Missouri, literally middle America.
Nobody knows what the fuck these people are talking about. Nobody cares. So, but these people, this comes from like living on the coast and living in a big city and living in a big fucking house and having nothing to do all day because your job is not that hard, not that time consuming. And so you're like, I'm going to tweet. And then especially if it's like this, it's in an interview, they're sitting him down and they're asking him what he thinks. And because the media is populated by goblins, who have a wildly
isn't that what J.K. Rowling meant when she, Jews is what she meant when she said goblins? Is that what you mean? Is that where you're going with that?
Wait, hold on. Let me back up. I don't want to get clipped. Oh man,
I can tell you look like an elf with that fucking nose right there. Of course, your guy hates goblins.
Yeah.
All right, D&D references. Continue. I'm joking.
But the media, they just wildly overestimate their own self-importance. So I guarantee you this, and the thing is, the media elites are who write for some fucking magazine, right? They're wildly overeducated, but they're underpaid. So there's people who do plumbing or blue collar work who make way more money than them. And they're deeply resentful about this. They hate those people because they don't think those people deserve, because remember, these people are Marxist goblins. They don't love the poor. They just hate people who are richer than them. So what they're doing here is they're just like, he's trying to bait. I guarantee you this interviewer was throwing out bait. Like, is there a way you could tie this to left-wing politics, James Gunn? Is there a way you could say something provocative that I could put in my little thing?
Based on that, then, do you think James was smart enough to recognize the bait and he took it willingly, or did he fall into a trap because he's retarded?
No, I think he's probably a little bit obsessed with himself, and he loves the sound of his own voice, and he thinks he's really important and his opinion really matters. And he's going to speak to the people, and he's going to tell them what the truth is. I'm a very important director who makes movies about men who wear their underwear outside of their pants. I'm very important. My opinion matters. And and of course he's got this sycophantic reporter, just trying to milk him for his opinions, and just like, oh yes, James Gunn, you're so important. It's such an honor to be here.
Milk him one more time. You said it twice. I need a third.
I mean, the rules of 3, right?
Yeah, dude. So it's anyway. So he's just milking James Gunn's ego. Just now I'm picturing him on the table with the hole in the middle. Not good. Not good.
Connected to those things we attach to cows, and just like
yes.
Flip the switch and
not good.
All I could think of.
What do you think is whiter, James Gunn's milk or James Gunn's hair?
Oh fuck.
Boy. That's a poll. It's a poll.
Oh fuck.
But then it's
I want to know how they managed to make the guy who's playing Superman kind of ugly as Superman, but in real life he's kind of hot.
Yeah.
Like that has to be a superpower.
It's the facial hair, dude. When he's got like that little bit of scruff there, like for example, Theo's a very good-looking individual. I bet you money we shaved, he'd be fugly. Like no, but now he's got this scruff, and he's like, oh, that's a rugged type man right there.
That's true.
I don't know. You're clean shaven on the front picture. You're still pretty cute.
Oh, thank you. That's very kind.
Plus, dude, Cindy, like Corn Sweat's the suit is not. I've seen his Instagram. The guy is fucking jacked. That suit's not doing his body no justice.
It's
like,
not.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if you guys all seen, like, we're watching BVS Wednesday, but man, Man of Steel, you seen Cavill? God damn, man. But his suit defined him. Corn Sweat looks like he's like in my shape, but he's not. The guy is fucking huge.
Well, I haven't seen this. I've only heard about it. And apparently, Rick and Morty is they had James Gunn and Zack Snyder come in to do a bit about Superman, which I'm not a Rick and Morty fan to begin with, so I can't imagine this is going to be funny. And yes, this is true, Tebow. This is absolutely true. I'm going to play this in segments because clips, demonetization is a bitch. But first of all, has anybody here seen this?
No, I'm catching up. I still watch Rick and Morty. I think it's raunchy, fucked up comedy. Like the funny part, I think most of the humor would fit into what stuff you like.
Well, I don't like gross out humor. So I watched season 1 of Rick and Morty, and like Rick was always just like burping all the time. It was like none of it seemed like intelligent humor. It seemed like the poor man's Futurama, which Futurama is actually brilliantly written. And Rick and Morty means like, hey, let's take all the intelligence for Futurama and replace it with bathroom humor. So yeah, not my bag. But
it gets worse. Trust me.
Oh, great, awesome. So, season 1 was bad. I can't imagine anything else. All right, so let's see if they're able to make us laugh here, or better yet, if they can give us something to like Theo said, pontificate upon.
Extra creatine, please. Yo, James Gunn.
Oh, hi, Zack Snyder.
Just saw your new cut of Superman, and word of advice, he's the man of steel, not the man of conversation.
Okay.
Do more shots of him punching, and here is a secret move. Start the punch at regular speed, and then you're gonna ramp it down.
It's not a f***ing secret.
I will say, as much as I want to talk shit, they kind of got the likeness about these dudes pretty spot on. Like they didn't announce themselves as, "Hi, James Gunn, it's Zack Snyder." I know who these two were, so caricature work is pretty on point. Yeah, thoughts so far?
I mean, it's a problem. Snyder, people, well, I know Leon, Man of Steel and BVS, people bitch that there's too much action, but now James Gunn, there's just not enough action. So I don't know anymore. What makes good Superman?
They haven't seen the James Gunn movie yet. So
oh yeah, but they're complaining.
Even as a Snyder fan, I'm not rooting for this movie to lose. So I think that the fandom wars on this one are kind of retarded. We just want a good Superman movie.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Zack Snyder. I shouldn't be lashing out at you. Your biceps are the size of my head.
Yes, but so is my heart. What's going on with you?
Some fan of the Velocitree franchise got onto the lot today. He used a portal and he just... Zach, we're not losing touch with the audience, are we? I mean,
All right, now here's the part that I always pay attention to because this is what a lot of what we're talking about, the losing touch with the audience portion. So, I mean, we're going to have our thoughts on whether or not Hollywood is. We've all had our thoughts on that quite a bit, but yeah, I know they're not voice actors. I know it's Gunn and Zack. I said the caricature as in like literally the way they're drawn. It actually is Zack Snyder and James Gunn doing these voices, yes.
I gave notes on the goddamn Count Chocula movie this morning.
Was the portal green? That's Rick Sanchez, Gunner. That's the guy that sealed Nolan in the giant bookcase to quote-unquote punish him for Interstellar. He doesn't represent real fans. He's just the smartest man in the universe. Don't sweat it. You can't do what we do.
So yeah, there it is. He doesn't represent real fans. I mean, I don't know. To me, this just reads as a veiled way to say that people who have issues with nerd culture and media online aren't real fans. It seems like it's just discounting half of the folks that actually do. Our actual nerds might be upset with the direction of modern pop culture. Am I the only one getting that read, or?
Sounds like they're trying to evade the fact that we've only been bitching about how disconnected they are from the fans for the last how many years now?
Yeah.
Exactly. That's exactly my thought.
And then even like, I'm not the biggest Snyder fan, but thing is, I do respect Snyder. The fans know Snyder. Like, I guarantee it. If they made if this Superman film was directed by James Snyder, Zack Snyder, it would be a lot more well received right now. He's got his fan base. His fans know him. I don't think that Hollywood, they're like, we're losing our touch with the fans. No, it's like certain people are losing touch with the fans. Certain fan bases, people know Spielberg or like whatever. Edgar Wright just did Nosferatu. His fans know.
not Edgar Wright.
Eggers, yeah, man.
So this sketch is basically, am I out of touch? No, it's the children who are wrong. Yeah, I think that's the vibe I'm getting. Theo, what about you?
Yeah, it screams out of touch to me. I don't like the idea of I understand it might make it easier for them to like exist in the world if they discount all the criticism against them, but I don't know. I'm on the side of the audience. Like movies have sucked for a while, and I think people are right to be frustrated. And it's not even just about the quality. It's at the they're creatively bankrupt, but it's also at the level of values. Like they just don't understand what these characters are supposed to be about, and that's a huge bummer. And that's because they're being written by like self-involved, childish, immature people. So the only way that they can imagine people acting is to be self-involved, childish, and immature. And then if you take characters that are important to people and you have them acting in that way, people are going to be frustrated, and that's valid.
Yeah. Let's see what the last 11 seconds of this is like, and then we'll go from there.
Probably. Gonna go crush some weights. One day you're gonna wish you hit the gym like I do, James Gunn.
Okay, so there actually was not much more value in there, but I'm glad we finished it out. So yeah, any final thoughts on the Zack Snyder Superman stuff before we move on?
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, look at say like Minecraft, for example. I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but watching it, I'm like, you know what? This is gonna do fucking bank because the Minecraft directors, they know their audience. It's Godzilla versus Kong 2 was fucking retarded, but I loved every second of it. They know their fans. We see this. That's why Marvel and DC are going.
It's funny you say that. 1 sec.
Yeah,
but someone ripped for me.
And I know Theo and Cindy can agree with that. Like people are saying, like, well, these guys don't know their fans anymore. No, look at the first phases of the MCU. Like we just watch Iron Man on Niat's channel. Look at Iron Man versus Iron Heart. You know, look at Black Panther 1 versus Black Panther 2 in different phases. You guys, you've lost touch with your audience. Nice.
While on vacation, look what I purchased. Issues 1 and 2 of Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong. Why? Because I love Godzilla versus Kong. I'm a huge Godzilla fan. I love the American Godzilla movies. I love Superman. So yes, I'm very excited for those books. If they suck, I'll admit they suck.
Yeah.
But like, no, you're entirely correct.
Even last year I bought fucking Wolverine versus Predator because all comic books are terrible. No, making Superman's son gay is stupid. Making Tim Drake gay is stupid. Having Superman fight Godzilla is fun. That's what
I also bought issues 2 and 3 of Spider-Man versus Predator. I didn't realize it was out yet. I thought it came out later this year, later this month. So they didn't have issue 1, so I can't read this yet. I'm gonna need to find issue 1.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I did pick up issues 2 and 3 of Predator vs. Spider-Man. I'm very excited to get to that once I find issue 1. But yeah, so point is there's a divide. I think we all know this divide. However, Theo specializes in a different kind of divide, and I'm kind of interested in that, especially because we got a pretty mixed panel here. By mixed, I mean 3 very intelligent males, and we've got a woman that's a woman. Theo, your show actually is about the divide between men and women, and I mean, from my understanding, how it seems to only be online as opposed to in person. And before we get into further, Climate King Sun Nig Woo coming in with that 2-banger, Nerd Monkey. Okay. Well, you know what? He dropped the monkey word. You know what you get, son?
That's stupid. You're stupid. Stop being stupid.
See,
Thank you so much,
Eric. Another franchise knows their fucking fans because we've seen the damn records. Dragon Ball Diamond broke. Holy Christ, that broke records. After 45 years, we're still watching Dragon Ball. They know their fucking fans.
Yeah. So that whole Rick and Morty thing felt like a kind of like a slap in the face to like all the people who've been complaining over the last however many years, saying, hey, this isn't what we want. You guys are desperately clinging to a political ideal that doesn't make sense and is very, very stupid. Yeah. And you're going to sit here and you're going to joke about it, but you're still missing the entire point, which is you're not listening to your fans. This is not what we want. We know the franchise better than you, and that shouldn't be the case.
Yeah.
Yes, she does. But yeah, so getting to Theo, I want to ask about this. What is so your podcast about the differences between men, women, the divides? Again, it seems like you see mostly online as opposed to the real world. What's like first? I guess first things first. What initiated the beginning of that podcast? Because we met at the meetup, so obviously you're into the pop culture stuff, nerd culture. You found, I assume you were watching erotic or somebody in that sphere. But when did you take this to the battle of the sexes?
Well, this is what I do stand up about. So I do a lot of this. I do. By the way, this used to be super normal thing to do stand up about. Like in the 90s, this used to be super normal to be like to talk about men and women as if those were the only two choices. But I was doing this at the time. At the time I met you, I was living in the state of Washington, and so if you do that in the Pacific Northwest, it was a lot more contentious and controversial. Now that I've moved to Vegas, it's not that big a deal. Like people are a lot harder to upset out here. Most people are normal. This is I really think most audiences most of the time, even in the coastal places, are just like sick of they're sick of the wokeness. And one thing I've noticed about female audience members in particular is the people who were telling me I wasn't allowed to make jokes about women and were kicking me out of, like, banning me from venues and stuff like that. It was all male comedians who were scared of potential consequences.
Was you guys were getting like banned from venues for your for your comedy specifically, or was it like social media posts? Or?
Yeah, no, it was just for stuff I was stand up I was doing, which I didn't. Now, I mean, I've done all that stuff out here and nobody gives a shit. So this is, I think, an artifact of like the chat is confirming Washington is a rough place to be a man in public. That's really all it was. I don't think anything I said was even particularly controversial, and I've traveled around quite a bit, and it really seems like this is an artifact of living in the Northwest, that people are upset about it. But one thing I've noticed in particular is that I think part of being treated like an adult is being able to take a joke. And I think women especially intelligent women, are sick to shit of being pandered to. Like, I think they want to be in on the joke. They just want to be treated like adults again. And I think if you're inflating their ego and telling someone how wonderful they are all the time, and you're saying no one can make jokes about these people, then you're treating them like a little kid. That's how you treat a little kid.
We're dying to be more misogynistic than most men.
Mm-hmm.
You recently posted a clip of one of your shows that I was watching, and it was you were making like you were doing crowd work, and this dude was there on a date with a girl. I assume you know the bit that you posted I'm referring to. And like I was watching it, at no point, because a lot of times when comedians post these clips and whatnot, they've got these the viral, the audience member gets mad or there's heckling and whatnot. But no, it was just you doing a funny bit of crowd work. There was the dude didn't get upset when you're like, oh, you're gonna be single after tonight. Like there was no altercation like that. It's like, oh, right, what comedy used to be, because I was expecting there to be some sort of heckler or something, because that's what had been big on YouTube for the last several years. So.
Yeah, most people are fine. Actually, this is so my podcast is called Touch Grass with Theo Snodgrass, and part of that is a fun little pun on my name, and part of it is because I really want people to fucking go outside, like touch grass, like turn off the internet as soon as my show is over. Turn off the internet and go outside and feel the sun on your face, because I promise.
Yeah, make sure you're on the internet after watch this show. Like, don't turn off the internet before that, but after the show is over. Go touch the fucking grass. The
second it's over, get out there. Unless
I'm streaming. If you see me streaming after his show, then come to my show. And then when my show's over, go touch grass.
That's right. Then go outside. And I tweeted this the other day. I was like, okay, if I am just going based on online, that I would think women were fucking terrible. And then I go outside and I like talk to them. And almost every interaction I have with women in real life is somewhere between, it's at least pleasant, and sometimes it goes really well. Like that's, it's just not as contentious. I've had contentious, like I would say when I was living in Washington, I would say at least once a month I was getting yelled at by some feminist in the parking lot of a comedy club. And I finally just I stopped engaging in those conversations, because I was like, I got to the point where I was like, I'm not doing this for free anymore. Like, it's got to be on a podcast or something. I got to be getting paid, or I'm not going to do this anymore, because it's just it's too draining to just get yelled at like that. So
what's the reception of the podcast like? Not reception. Obviously, the reception is good. You keep doing it, but what do you find to be the if you look at the analytics, like the breakdown? Do you have a pretty split 50-50 female male, or is it?
My audience is famously 96% male. So I do have a certain amount of female viewers that I see in the chat pretty regularly. I call them the 4%. Like, shout out to the 4%. We love you guys.
Wouldn't that imply though that the internet might actually be right about women, because women clearly don't want to listen to what a man has to say?
Yeah, well,
actually, I have a question. Is it based off of like when it says like what your audience is, men or women? Is it based off of that survey that you take?
Oh no, this is the analytic. When I look at the analytics of my channel in like YouTube Studio, that's what it's telling me. So,
okay.
I mean, I don't know.
I'm throwing some motherfuckers analytics off though, because I have my shit set to be a they them in YouTube. That way I could like get boosted in the algorithm. So like I'll be watching my friends and whatnot. And it's like, oh wow, I've got a 0.2% they them audience watch. So there's even some lefties out there that watch my alt-right content. No, actually part of that's probably me.
That's great. That's great.
Climate King Sun Nig Woo for a 5-banger says, what group do you see being the most likely to be hecklers? I think I know, but let's see if I'm right.
Oh yeah. Okay.
No offense, but it sounds like some fucking commie gobbledygook.
Yeah.
Go for it, Theo.
There's a couple of different. So hecklers go to. So usually when first of all, hecklers are almost always drunk. Usually when a man is heckling, he's aware that the audience is there and he's trying to be funny. He wants a turn to be funny. He thinks he's going to say something that's going to make everybody laugh. Yeah, usually wrong, but he's trying to be funny. When a woman is heckling, she thinks that she and I are in a one-on-one conversation and that she's the most important person in the room. And as far as I can tell, she's not even aware the audience is there. Like, she's the main character and we are in a dialogue. That's that. So her heckles are like, a lot of times they're either like hitting on me or they're like just telling me about their day. Just like I was at Walmart earlier. That the thing I was there earlier today. Is that? And it's like this is not like a group participation thing. This is you sit there and like listen to it. It's not. And I don't want to be mean, but it's like, dude, you're fucking this up. Like I have had when it comes to people, if somebody's gonna like yell out and try to interrupt the show in an angry way, every single time that has happened, it has been a feminist. Every single time, without exception. They're just like, that guy hates women. Don't listen to him. And it's like, please stop. What's crazy? Not only do I not hate women, but my hair is nicer than yours. I'm sorry, honey. Like, here's the thing. If I really was the crazy toxic misogynist that they're accusing me of being, I wouldn't just sit there and let them talk crazy like that. Yeah. Like, I would do something about it. And I never do. I just like, all right. Well, this is because nobody likes it when they do that. Nobody's like, oh yeah, I'm so glad this person is ruining the comedy show right now. I'm so happy this is happening. Like,
what they want is for you to speak down to them, honey.
Yeah. This is true. Yeah, talk down to a woman, be more misogynistic, actually, and that might put them in their place. And next thing you know, they're voting Trump 2028.
There you go.
Do that Leo whistle where he's like snapping and pointing at the screen and tell her to sit.
Oh yeah.
That's great. It really does seem like they're trying, especially like the really confrontational ones. It does seem like they're trying to like bait me into that kind of like very assertive response. And I don't know. I think I try to remain calm, but it makes me tired. It just makes me tired. And it's like sad. It's like, why are you so upset? Why are you like this? Like, why can't you just be happy? Just go somewhere or go bother someone else. Like, don't do this to me. Like, I don't want it. I don't want the smoke, but it's everywhere I go. It's like the Eye of Sauron. It like finds me, you know?
So do you usually do multiple shows a week, like per venue or whatnot, like a lot of comedians do? And so do you see a different percentage of hecklers from, like maybe an early show versus a late show, or is there have you found a pattern to it?
Yeah, for sure. It's the later the show, the more likely people are to be drunk. Also, like in an early show, a lot of times it's like boomers, so they're in there and they're gonna like maybe have a couple drinks and then they're gonna go home, and they're gonna like 7 to 9. But if you're showing up, if the show starts at like 9:30, 10 o'clock. A lot of times people are drunk when they sit down because they were at a bar before this, or they were at dinner before this, and they had drinks, and now they're sitting down. So they're already like it's already rowdy at the beginning, and then that's going to be a lot of fun. Now, I don't mind a rowdy audience as long as they're like relatively respectful.
Yeah.
Well, I would be doing my boy Eric, Prime King's son Nick Wu, our resident Uncle Tom / our favorite coon, a disservice here if I didn't clarify, because when he said which group, he clearly meant which racial group, and he's definitely trying to get you. He's curious. Do blacks heckle more? Yes. Or if not. Oh, really?
Yes, for sure. But like, it's different because it depends on if I'm there in their house or not. So if I'm playing a black audience, just part of it is that there's going to be more call and response and more heckling, and people are going to yell out. That's just like normal in that space. So that is like, that kind of puts me on my toes as a performer, and it becomes part of the dance. But it's like, for me, it's when in Rome, do as the Romans do. And so if I'm in Salt Lake City and you got one of those very like prim and proper Mormon audiences, they're going to listen very attentively and they're not going to yell out. But if I'm doing like
when in Rome, do as the Romans do. If Netflix made that special, like the Romans would be black. So it's pretty great that you actually figured that out. Like,
yeah. No, I like it. It's a lot of fun, man. And black audiences are great because they do yell at you, and so that changes the dynamic a little bit, and so that's fun.
Were you ever afraid of that at first? Like, now you're a seasoned comedian, so you probably. But like when you first started, like, oh no, Deshaun is yelling at me. What the fuck do I do? Like,
it was. Yeah, well, when I was younger, I looked really young, so I got used to getting yelled at. I'd be like, I was like 21, and I looked like I was about 15, and I'd be in a bar trying to make jokes, and like adult men were drunk, and they would yell at me, and that happened so many times, and it was so bad. But I learned, like, sometimes the funniest thing I would say the whole set would be something I said in response to a heckler. So I learned to like really enjoy the kind of back and forth with the crowd. I learned to really enjoy it, and now then as I got better, people stopped yelling out now. And also, like, I'm not like a stranger to, that I used to live in Inglewood, California for a bit. And, and I've dated like a significant number of black women at this point in my life. So like I'm not, I'm not unfamiliar.
Theo Snodgrass. They need to start calling you Theo Snod Jungle. God damn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, speaking of somebody else who also has jungle fever, I'm not judging. Making son Nick Wu.
Okay.
Sorry, play back up, Cindy. My bad. I'm so sorry. What do we do without you, Eric? All right, Gravestone. He's got jungle fever. All right, so we'll go ahead and move on to our next topic here, which we're gonna get a little bit political. Do you do a lot of political jokes?
Well, I do. I talk about political stuff on the podcast mostly. Yeah, that's a lot of fun.
So, are you surprised by this whatsoever? Breaking: FBI and DOJ conclude Epstein did not have a client list and committed suicide via Axios.
Sure, he did.
I guess.
And Leon, tomorrow I'm signing into Alcoholics Anonymous too.
Jeez.
Oh yeah, for sure. I would honestly believe you would go to AA before this is true. So
this is my last drink ever.
Are we? I think, can we all safely say this is done? Like, we're never gonna know the truth at this point.
We never were.
Nah,
it was a stunt. It was always a stunt.
Yeah.
I held out hope. I really did. I held out hope that maybe, even if nobody went to jail, even if nobody was arrested, at least maybe we'd see some names, Yeah.
I'm with Sandy. Like, the thing is, also Leon, like, I was hopeful, but like when it came out, like, oh yeah, Trump's gonna release it. Yeah, okay, I'm still waiting.
Yeah, I was hopeful that he would actually release it. I thought if anybody would, it would definitely be him. But here we are.
Yeah. I mean, they try saying, "Oh, it's going to hurt people's reputations." That's kind of the fucking point.
Yeah, that's kind of the point. Is like, and here's the dealio. This just for me confirms the already confirmed uniparty. Is like, nobody over here was like, oh, since Trump got elected, we don't want the client list released because what if he's on? It's like, I don't give a fuck. I'm pretty sure everybody unilaterally agreed left, right, doesn't matter. We want to see the names because we know there's going to be people of both sides of the aisle on there, and that's fucking fine by us. We just don't want people that like putting their dick in little Timmy running the country. Like, that's kind of our issue. So, but yeah, lo and behold, this is actually, I don't know. I assumed they were just going to sweep it under the rug and that they weren't going to really acknowledge it. Oh, no, we'll get to the client list, but first we got to figure out taxes, and first we got to figure out, what's going on with, the immigrants and ICE. But no, they're now, they're literally out here just saying like, yeah, nah, he didn't have a client list. He did in fact commit suicide. How fucking stupid do you think we are?
Well, yeah.
Okay, that was a dumb question.
You know what? I don't want to be told by a company called Axios when I've seen Wall-E. Okay, they're not good people.
I don't get the reference. I've never seen Wall-E, but you said it with such conviction it made me smile.
And what's even sucky too, Leon, is like you do want to believe like maybe the FBI, maybe DOJ, maybe there's some integrity, maybe they're not lying to us. Now you see people like Alex Jones, like, fuck, he was probably right then, because now you truly can't trust anybody. Fuck,
yeah, no. That hold on. Scroll back up to Bush's comment.
Nope.
That is a bullshit excuse. That is a fucking bullshit excuse. Oh, it's international. It breaks treason cause war. Motherfucker, no. You can't lie to our face and say there wasn't a client list and that he didn't and that he committed suicide. Yeah, you could say, hey, there is a client list. We unfortunately can't prosecute certain individuals.
I go with that even.
In different countries. That's fair. But to blatantly lie to our faces and say that there's no client list, that's not going to cause a fucking war. No. Like oh my, sorry. Anyway, Theo, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, honestly, it wouldn't be that big a deal, except for they build this as we're going to be the most transparent administration in history. And we're gonna release the client list. We're gonna release all the thing. We're gonna be so transparent. We're gonna be so transparent. You're gonna get tired of transparency, and we're gonna tell you who all the pedophiles are, and we're gonna prosecute them. We're gonna do all this stuff. And now they're like, turns out he did kill himself, and there was never a client list. Crazy. They were telling the truth the whole time. Well, nothing to see here. And we're supposed to to just walk away from that. Like,
you guys remember, the Tuskegee experiments or MK Ultra or the Bay of Pigs? Like, we can go on and on and on. If you lied about all of that, why should we believe that you're being honest now?
Fuck it, Leon. Is there a world where he actually could have actually offed himself?
No.
Is it possible? Right.
No.
I just gotta ask. No. Why not?
Okay. You know what? Multiverse theory, sure. There technically is a universe somewhere out there in the deep reaches of the fourth dimension, the fifth dimension, where yes, it's possible. But in this fucking universe, no. You're telling me the guards were asleep and the cameras broke and the suicide watch was completely neglected for the most famous criminal of probably the 21st century. I don't believe in the stars aligning to that degree. I am more likely to believe that going to Earthbound and buying some amethyst will like somehow make me a 1 million subscriber channel before I'll believe that fucking that he actually committed suicide.
It just could have been that they were the most considerate towards his, suicide, is that they had to hide it.
Yeah.
I didn't say you said that he. No, hold on, Bush. I didn't say you said he did. My point is your statement about like treaties and causing wars was fucking retarded, and I'm gonna maintain that. Type in all caps as much as you want. It's a fucking stupid statement. This is how it goes on my show. I'll argue with my audience. Ain't no such thing as audience capturing this bitch. I'm not Hassan. Continue, my friend. If not, we'll move on to the next portion of this, which was Donald Trump's statement. The FBI, under the direction of the Director Kash Patel and Deputy Director Dan Bongino, is back to the basics, locking up criminals and cleaning up America's streets. We have the greatest law enforcement professionals in the world, but politics and corrupt leadership often prevented them from doing their job. That is no longer the case, and now they've been unleashed to do their jobs. They are doing just that. Keep it up. Make America safe again.
Well, then release the list, because that would make America safe.
Right?
Somebody had to say it. Yeah.
All right, well, deuces if you can't handle difference of opinion. Catch you later, Booch. Have fun, my friend.
But take away the Epstein stuff. He is right, though. We all know that. Politics did make it where law enforcement agencies couldn't do their jobs properly.
Yeah, that part is true. Fair enough. But I'm sorry. The whole Epstein. We are talking about who knows how many underage individuals being trafficked to an island, brutally raped by some of the most elite individuals in the world that we have known. By the way, this has been an open secret for years now. Fucking Crowder was talking about this a solid half decade before Epstein was even arrested. Pedophile Island was trending back in like 2015 or something. How on God's green earth are you going to try and tell us that, oh man, our FBI is so great, they've been handcuffed? You're fucking handcuffing them by releasing this absolute bullshit statement about the DOJ and FBI.
That's like when Joe said that. Joe's like, he's like, yeah. So it's amazing the past 2 years how much shit Alex Jones said it's actually coming to fucking fruition. Because Alex Jones did this shit a decade ago, no one believed him.
Yeah, I kind of would go broke if I had an Alex Jones' right jar. I really will. I'll never forget that 4chan post minutes before the news dropped about his death. I don't know what 4chan. Oh yeah, I do know the post you're referring to actually. Yeah. So basically, at the end of the day, I don't know what to make of this. What a little bit of faith I had in any sort of American politics at this point has been 100% shattered. It really only reaffirms my commitment to anarchism, to anarchy. But yeah, anyone got thoughts on this Trump statement or any final thoughts on the Epstein list?
Disappointed overall.
Yep, I'd say that's correct.
That's the worst gaslighting I've ever seen.
Yeah, because wasn't the entirety of Ghislaine Maxwell being sent to prison predicated on her list? Doesn't that kind of imply that there is a list that, or because I saw Haruka Murata say this. She was like, yo, so does that mean there's an innocent woman in prison? Because if you're saying there's no list, what did Ghislaine Maxwell go to prison for? Like,
also, I say, Leon, certain YouTubers know your audience, know how integral you are. I tell people all the time, you think like, oh, are you putting water in your vodka? No, this is straight fucking vodka. Leon drinks vodka. This is actually Pepsi Zero. It's like, trust me, like, so at least
no one's gonna believe you until you set it on fire.
I mean, drinking fucking vodka as well. And Theo, are you a drinker? Do you drink? Because I know that's a big part of the comment. Or are you like, you know what? No, because I didn't see you drinking anything when we met at the bar. By the same token, I was also a bit tipsy by that point. So.
No, I'm not a big drinker. I like to I enjoy a little bit of the devil's lettuce from time to time. Hey. But no, I'm more of an energy drink guy. No, that's my vice.
Yeah. Was there like were you and then you quit? Because obviously that's a huge thing in the comedy scene. And we're like, you know what? I've had my fun. Like, is there a reason you don't drink?
Yes. Alcohol makes me fat, horny, and stupid, which is a terrible combination.
I got 2 of those.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. And it's not. I'm honest enough as it is. I don't need any help. I get myself in trouble plenty. I don't need any help.
That's why I said the feel like Noah and Leon said. Leon, love or hate the guy's opinions. Leon is fucking authentic. And just Leon doesn't bullshit you, and that's what it's any much I know. And the same thing with me. Like I just whether you like or hate us, we're not here lying and fucking making shit up, man. I'm so tired of like politics and people like all the bigger YouTube channels lying their asses off, man. Everybody here we are who we are.
Well, real quick, I love politics. I do. I've loved politics ever since 9/11. That's like the only good thing that came out of 9/11 was my love for politics. But that being said, I also don't want that to dominate the discourse or whatnot. I was just very confused as a 5-year-old why Spider-Man didn't stop the terrorists. And I had to realize that, oh, wait, that's not real. So, but what is real, though, is real. Don't get your panties in a wad.
I think Theo had a question.
I was just going to ask if that was a Sin. Is that a kitten that has appeared between your titties there? Is that what's going on?
It's my titty kitty.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I didn't notice that. I was staring at Leon.
Yeah. I was. That
sounds gay.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it is difficult to maintain a gentlemanly level of eye contact with you. I'll be honest with you about that. I'm doing my best.
I saw this movie.
You can absolutely exploit her on my channel. It's A-okay. I mean, she's got her own. She can make her own rules on her own channel. On my show, she's an object and she's here for everybody's eyes. I'm joking. I love you.
To be easy on the eyes for you. That was my motto.
So Jurassic World 4 opened to $318.3 million at the worldwide box office, second biggest global movie opening of 2025. Why do you people keep supporting this?
Yeah, Leon, they know their audience.
Because it had the word Jurassic Park in it.
Yeah.
Word.
Yes, and guess what? It's been 32 years. 32 years and one good Jurassic fucking Park / World movie. You don't think that after the first one was good, and then 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 were all terrible? Somehow 7 was going to miraculously be the fucking good one?
Damn, Jurassic Park came out in 1993. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Damn.
32 years.
Yeah.
The fuck?
It's probably gonna do $1 billion though.
That's where I'm going with this. Do you guys think this film has legs? Is it going to do $1 billion, or do you think that because there has been a lot of bad press about this? Most people are seeing it and they're being like, "Oh, this actually kind of sucks."
I saw the Derpodon toy in Walmart.
Oh God, that's called the D-Rex, Sydney.
The Derpodon.
Yeah, the Down syndrome Rex. I'm not even joking.
So
it's got this big fucking.
With this making the money it has, as of right now, 322.5 effectively million worldwide.
Yeah.
Superman coming out next week. Do you think that this will hit $1 billion, or do you think it's gonna be like, okay, this had a strong opening, but then it's gonna peter out?
I think it'll hit $1 billion. You know why, Leon? Because as much as just like Minecraft, right? Minecraft, Jurassic World
didn't hit $1 billion, but okay.
Well, I mean, not, but it's right there, but it's teeter around $1 billion. But you know what I'm saying? But like that Jurassic World, they know their audience, but also Superman. We are seeing this on the trailers. That and fucking Fantastic Four, right? They're pissing off their audience. Jurassic World, Minecraft, even Lilo and Stitch, they know their fucking audience, right? Jurassic World isn't pushing trans this or gay that or Superman or buy this.
Enough. Shouldn't.
I agree with you, but
no politics in it, so therefore it's a good movie.
Which I agree with you. No. But this is why, again, Godzilla versus Kong 2, fucking stupid. Did $700 million because it's Godzilla suplexing King Kong. There's no current modern day politics in already Superman. James Gunn, hey, Superman's not political. Audience like, James Gunn, fuck you. I'm going to go watch Jurassic Park.
Guys, I hate that Blue is correct, so somebody with an opposite opinion speak. Please tell me someone's got an opposite opinion.
Being honest. Look, I'm not happy about it, trust me. I watched this movie. It's not a good movie.
Oh, did you actually? So you did go and see it?
It's fucking retarded. Yeah, exactly. But I'm watching thinking to myself that the CGI is good. It's better than Jurassic World, Dominion Fallen Kingdom. It's fucking stupid, but the whole plot is
saying it's better than gonorrhea. Like the bar is so low. Like,
yeah. But that's just it. But it's not offensive. That's why it's doing well because you can take your kids, a 5-year-old, to see Jurassic World and be entertained because there's pretty dinosaurs, there's good action, there's just people being ripped apart.
You take your kid to see this movie, someone needs to call CPS on you because you could be staying at home and having them watch the original and learning what good movies are.
But Lilo and Stitch was not as good as the cartoon, but it's doing $1 billion because little kids want to see
Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah, and also it's not compared to Snow White. Compared to fucking like Captain America 4, Lilo and Stitch is a fucking masterpiece compared to what we're getting like Little Mermaid. Lilo and Stitch is so safe. People want safe nowadays.
Yeah. I watched Meet the Parents on Netflix the other day, and I was like blown away by how good movies used to be.
Oh,
like
God.
I agree.
No. What happened was we lowered the bar and we found that to be acceptable.
Yeah, but Meet the Parents is the OG one from like the late 90s, early 2000s.
Meet the Parents. No.
Really?
No.
Yes.
Fucker.
Really?
Yes.
Obviously, that's another franchise with one good movie. That's true.
So you hate Ben Stiller, therefore you already have a tainted view of the film. That's fair.
Yes,
that's
probably.
Sorry, go on, Theo.
Anyway, I didn't know I was triggering a reaction with that.
No, you're good. Women emotions.
Well, I'll say about Meet the Parents. The plot makes sense. The character motivations make sense. They don't do the millennial thing where the character spells out exactly what they're thinking and feeling in explicit detail. They kind of leave it up to you have to be paying attention because the expectation is that you're watching the movie, not scrolling on TikTok and while the movie's playing in the background. So they don't spell everything out for you. There's subtlety. The jokes have to do with the plot. One event logically leads into the next event and so on and so on. You get a nice little resolution at the end. Yeah. And I was like, wow, that was really good. But then it wasn't remarkable. That was a good movie, but it wasn't like a life-altering movie. If a movie that good came out today, we'd shit our pants from excitement because like we're like, well, hey, at least At least nobody died during the production, and there's not a drag queen as the main character. At least, right? I mean, that's something, and that's what we're holding on to now.
So
if there's not a gay pedophile subplot, then it's a good wholesome family movie because it's the best we could realistically do right now. Because everything sucks, and I'm so sick of that. I'm so sick of that being where the bar is. We gotta have some expectations here.
Meet the Parents was 2000. Budget was 55. You know how much that shit made? 330.
Incredible.
That's a box office win, man. 330.
Is that in counting inflation though? Or...
No. This was it was 166 domestic and 164 international. So in 2000, a comedy making 330 million. That's fucking impressive.
Yeah, if you adjust that for inflation, it'd be even higher, but the budget would also be higher, so it would even out. So adjusting for inflation isn't.
But it still made 9 times its fucking budget almost. That's or 8 times.
That's great. That's great. Well, I don't know I think maybe this obsession with intellectual property is killing everything. I don't know. Maybe the answer is what I would love to see them do is I would like to see these big companies, they actually want to make money, license their IPs to independent filmmakers and then have them crowdfund it. Do you guys know Bat in the Sun? If I say Bat in the Sun, do you know what I'm talking about? I would love it if Warner Brothers would license the Batman IP to the Bat in the Sun guy, and then he could crowdfund some money to make a good Batman movie. And I think he would fucking crush it if he did that.
Batman versus Vader was awesome.
Yeah, dude. I think it would be great if they, instead of trying to make the movies themselves, if they'd license the properties, let individual creators crowdfund,
that was done relatively recently to great success, not with a film, but Theo, did you ever play tabletop RPGs growing up or anything like that?
Yeah.
So one of the really famous ones was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles tabletop RPG, and it lasted for a few years, got shuttered like a lot of the IP-based tabletop RPGs do, but it got recently crowdfunded to massive success. Someone got the rights to the tabletop. I assume they got the license as well to actually use the Ninja Turtles, and they're yo, we're bringing this back. And lo and behold, what happened? It shot to the moon. People were like, holy shit, the Ninja Turtles tabletop RPG is coming back, and people went nuts.
Good.
If you can do it with a board game or tabletop RPG, why can't you do it with a film?
To tell you guys, I know the success, dude. Meet the Fockers was 2004. That shit made 522 million.
I like Meet the Fockers better than Meet the Parents. I like both.
That did $500 million a comedy in 2004. That's said. I get you don't have to like the film, but in terms of financial success, man, that's $500 million for a comedy. That would never happen in 2025.
Well, I mean, because we always talk about the last great comedy, and everyone usually points to Tropic Thunder. Yeah. I actually hold the opinion the last great comedy was a little bit later than that. I think the last great comedy that pushed boundaries and whatnot was Deadpool.
I mean, see, Deadpool gets labeled as a comic book film. That's why that's not considered.
Which it does. Yeah. But at the end of the day, Deadpool is a comedy film.
Oh, I agree. It's also a love story too. That's why they're smart to put on on Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
But I mean, but in terms of comedy, what was the last great comedy? That's the problem because everyone's too scared. We're all offended. That's why I'm hoping for Naked Gun. It's going to be pretty good.
I have hopes for Naked Gun as well. To be fair, I actually like not Seth Meyers.
Seth MacFarlane.
Seth MacFarlane's films. I liked A Million Ways to Die in the West. I liked the Ted films. I love the Orville. So I actually much prefer his live action stuff.
My sister loved. She got me into the Ted TV show. It's fucking hilarious.
The Ted TV show was actually really good. I enjoyed the Ted TV show. I was surprised
they didn't make it woke, which I was shocked.
Well, and beyond that, again, because I think we all agree that I don't like that not being woke, not being political, is enough for us to give some a pass. I think that's an inherent issue. So look, that's good that things don't have political connotations to them, but that shouldn't be what gives a piece of media or a piece of art or whatever a pass.
I agree, Lee. Just because, especially with Theo in his industry being stand-up, I add to that because for some people though, people are so sick and tired of the political pandering where they will see a movie it could be a terrible film, but you're like, yeah, listen, I'm happy with a terrible film that just isn't fucking woke. It's like, even take Godzilla -1, which is what people were expecting it. They could have went the whole like, oh, poor me, like, Japan good, America bad. And it was just a goddamn Godzilla film. They could have politically pandered to Godzilla -1. They didn't. People are just happy that,
Speaking of your industry, though, and obviously you don't have to name names or anything, but like you said, you opened up for some big names and whatnot being in comedy. Have you ever interacted with a comedian or been open for a comedian or anything like that, where like you follow their stuff in like the 80s, the 90s, the early 2000s, whatever it may be, and then you did an opening spot for them, and you're like, oh, they're not the same they used to be, like whether it be out of fear, whether it be out of just a change in their mindset due to brainwashing. Like, what's that like?
Yeah, seeing people who are out of touch, like, okay, like some of them we're talking about, like the zeitgeist has definitely shifted, especially among women. Like when I talk to women about doing comedy, a lot of times they're like, please tell me you're doing misogynistic jokes, please. And I hear that from women way more than I hear it from guys, which I thought that was odd. But see, I'm in the streets talking to people, but if you talk to some of these guys that came up performing in like the 90s and the 2000s and so on, that's not where the zeitgeist was at that time. Like they got to that, especially if you're in especially if you're in like major metros like LA or Seattle or whatever, they're still trying to do like very woke comedy out there. That's kind of where they're at. So I get a lot of pushback from headliners. They're like, dude, you can't do that. Like you can't call an audience member sweetheart. You can't do that. And it's like, yes, I can. I just did. You saw it.
Simple. You can't call someone like, that's the thing that you got reprimanded for, was calling an audience member sweetheart.
What?
Yeah. And they were like, dude. And I was like, bro, I don't know what you're talking about, but I've been doing this on the road for a bit. It seems to be going pretty well. It's like, it seems to work. And they're like, dude, it's not the 1950s, which is crazy because the dude who was saying that to me was, what's crazy? The dude who said that to me was 60 years old, and he was talking all this shit about how I need to treat women with respect. And then he fucking hit on the 22-year-old waitress in the green room. He cornered her alone in the green room. I watched him do it. By the way, he's married. His wife just wasn't there. I watched him fucking do it. And then he gave me a lecture on how I treat women. And isn't that just leftists in a nutshell?
Uh-huh.
Is that amazing?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, no. God. It takes me back. So, again, you and I talked a bit about comedy beforehand, which is you and I I love stand-up comedy. It is, again, my favorite form of art. And there's this, why am I blanking on his name? SNL alum was on there with Sandler and the short guy. Why am I blanking on? Short blonde. Rules of Engagement.
Wow. Is it Sandler stand-up?
Oh, David Spade.
David Spade, thank you.
Oh, Spade,
David Spade had a joke back in the day that like was like now I couldn't imagine a comedian saying this. Now, to be fair, it's contextual to the time, but he has a joke where he says that JonBenet Ramsey, wasn't that attractive, and it's like, okay, that's a fucking funny joke, and he was like at least by my estimation, he wasn't exactly a raunchy comic. He was very B tier in terms of his raunch levels. Yeah. And even a B tier semi safe for work comedian like David Spade could make a joke about almost a pedophile-esque joke about JonBenet Ramsey not being hot, and that was fucking funny. Yeah. I can't think of a comedian besides Anthony Jeselnik, who I fucking honestly don't really care for his newer stuff, that does those sorts of jokes, and it bothers me.
Well, also said, people can love Netflix. They have issues, but with Chappelle's last special, they said, oh yeah, we're worried about there was an employee wanted to walk out for the trans issues. Okay, Netflix is like, Chappelle had 60 million fucking live viewers. One employee walked out. I'm pretty sure one employee walking out versus 60 million views. What would let Netflix can take the hit?
Well, so that's a good question though. Do you think that comedy is one of the few industries where they do follow the money? Because like you see entire films had their scripts change, and you see video games, and making censorship to the game 5 years after it's come out because you've got a few people complaining online. Whereas Netflix is like, yeah, Dave Chappelle just made us like $500 million fucking dollars with trans jokes. We really don't care if our employees throw a fit. So is that an industry norm for comedy compared to these other scenes? We're like, no, we're going to go where the money is, as opposed to what we're seeing from like Hollywood and gaming.
Well, yeah, but on the flip side, so Netflix, a lot of the people they give opportunities to do seem to be doing a big DEI push over on Netflix. Like Hannah Gadsby has no business being on television. A lot of they seem to be really focused on spotlighting as many LGBTQ comedians as they possibly can, as many non-white, non-men as they possibly can. So there's definitely some of that too. But as far as some of these like really established guys like Dave Chappelle, because pretty much everything he drops is a huge hit, then yeah, I mean, I think they're going to stick with it. Also, like Netflix, here's the thing, unless you're a guy like Dave Chappelle, a lot of guys are like not making a ton of money off of getting their stuff on a streamer. The idea is to get it in front of a lot of eyeballs so that they could make money on the road.
A lot of guys and make money on the road.
But a lot of guys have to finance that themselves. And so they end up like eating shit and going way into debt trying to make these things. And I look at it like we were talking about this kind of before the show started. I actually think the best way, if you don't have a huge following and you're trying to build one, I think the best way is just go through YouTube and just build it up yourself. I really do. And to do it with doing podcasting, live streaming, videos, and also stand-up content too. And unfortunately, the reality of that is you need to have kind of a deep bag to be able to do that. And a lot of comics don't have it. But like, yeah, it's like, I think
you say a lot deep bag. Do you mean financially, or do you mean like a wealth of things?
I mean, you got to have a lot of skills. Yeah, you got to have a lot of skills, because like not everybody can do a podcast, you know, like that's a different skill that a lot of stand-ups can do podcasts, but not automatically. A lot of guys, they don't have it. So I look at this like, you can complain about the gatekeeping of like an organization like Netflix, where it's like, oh, they're only giving opportunities to certain types of comedians, whatever, they want certain demographic information, whatever. You can complain about that, or you can react to it. And there's a lot of clubs, I ran into this in the Northwest, where I wasn't getting booked as much as I wanted to because, my content was not woke. I'm not an anti-woke comedian, because I also find that to be cringe, but I'm just like a normal guy who talks about reality. Like I talk about two genders, like there's only two options, and that
I mean,
ruffles
speaking from
people.
A content perspective,
yeah,
I've been labeled as an anti-woke content creator. And it's like, well, no, it's because I find that to be cringe. Like look at my history. I've got many videos bagging on the right, bagging on Tim Pool, bagging on Trump when necessary, things like that. It's like, do I bag on the left more? Well, absolutely. But it's not because I'm inherently anti-woke. It's because the left is more often than not in control of these artistic endeavors. So they're the ones making these changes. But let me tell you, when right-wing content comes out and it's fucking bad, like Lady Ballers, for example, your boy gonna bag on that too. It just doesn't happen as often. So you get lumped in as the sort of anti-woke thing. Was like, well, that's a one-trick pony sort of thing. And I don't like bad art. I don't like bad video games. I don't like bad movies. It just happens that 90% of the time that shit's left-leaning.
Yeah, because this them watching old films. Some of our films from the 80s and 90s, but nowadays would be considered left or woke, but they're really fucking well written. They're funny as hell. I mean,
absolutely. I mean, Hollywood has been mostly left for the majority of at least our lifetime. I hear back in the 30s through about the 50s, Hollywood was actually very right leaning. I wasn't around back then. I don't know.
I didn't say like I still support for all his wrongdoings Kevin Smith, but Kevin Smith made Dogma. He made Chasing Amy, Clerks. Right. Kevin is left as fuck.
Oh, for sure. And I mean,
he's made some great comedies though.
And I mean, early era Kevin Smith, absolute legend, absolute hero. Kind of sucks he survived that heart attack, because now we have to see crying bitch made beta Kevin Smith.
I agree with that.
Gone out like a boss to a heart attack and left a good reputation of awesome movies, but instead he made I don't even remember the fucking name, Wiener Schnitzel or whatever. But anyway, he
lost the weight and lost the humor.
Kind of did. Like, what's the one clip from Clerks 2 or Clerks 2, the Donkey Show? That's legit fucking hilarious. In Clerks 2, like Kevin can make some good fucking movies. He's just like
the first Clerks might be the movie I've seen more than any other movie in my entire life. Like it's right up there with Return of the Jedi. It's probably
all of us. Everybody here knows. We all know a Randall. I know friends to this day that are Randall, and somebody who's worked in fast. Clerks is the perfect film. If you ever worked in fast food or retail, everybody's got that Randall in them.
I don't. Do you have thoughts on that? What we've been pontificating on thus far, Theo? Or I know that you probably like. Yeah. I know that you're not big on talking shit. So as opposed to me, I love talking shit. So anything.
Yeah, it's like I agree with you. Like being reflexively anti-woke is also cringe. I just want to be funny. I just want to talk about things I think are interesting. The reason I talk about the left so much is because that's where the retards are. Like that's where they're all hanging out. So that's where they tend to cluster. is like if you're a stupid person with a bad opinion, 9 times out of 10 you're going to be on the left right now. That's just how it's just how the ball bounces. So that's where my attention is. And but yeah, I talk about relationships. That's mostly what I talk about. That's what I'm interested in, and that applies to everyone. Everyone has relationships that make up their life. That's what life's all about. That's what's interesting to me. And the fact is, the left doesn't want you to have relationships. They don't want you to get married and have children. They don't want you to get along with your family. They don't want you to be a part of your community. They want you to be miserable and take drugs and be degenerate and spend all your time online and, do all that stuff. Like, that's what they want you to do. They don't want you to have relationships with real people in the real world. They don't want you to get along. Because here's the thing, if you get along with your family, you might, oh no, somebody in your family might be conservative. Oh, they might have voted for Trump. Oh no. And then you might see them as a human being. Oh no. And then, oh no, you might have gay people and conservative people getting along and realizing we're not that different. Then we could have a functioning society. That's not what they want. They don't want that.
So right about that.
Yeah. So it's like let's be fun. Let's be funny and laugh and come together and have a good time. That's what I like to do. And if you're being reflexively anti-woke, that's cringe. I hate clapter. That's so if you're up there and you're like, I'm a gay, disabled, transgender, bisexual, woo, I hate that. But if you're gonna get up there and be like and say something anti-woke just so people woo and cheer too, like I'm not for that either. That's not what comedy is. And I know that's coming. That's coming down the way. Yeah, I guarantee you that's coming. Mark my words. There's going to be people saying.
Do you think if you went to like a deep red state, like let's say you went to Alabama, did a comedy show in Alabama, and you open with like, I just want to let y'all know, I'm a straight white male who loves women and wish to get married and father some children. You get clapter.
I might actually. That might happen. Now I'm in Las Vegas, so like that around here, that's rebellious. It's like, so that's kind of fun. I like that. I like there's a lot.
Meeting you in Vegas was my first time in Vegas, and like I expected, because I know the state of Nevada is mostly a red state, but I expected Nevada, like Las Vegas, to like be stupid liberal and stuff like that. I was like, dude, I was
where all the strippers are.
Hey, look, leftists love that sort of shit. Like they want you to fucking sell.
Yeah, but they don't want people to know about it because then they wouldn't have something to champion against.
Yeah.
Like in big cities being traditionally left leaning and shit, I expected to see like a bunch of they thems and stuff on the street. And no, what I see, I saw a dude in a gorilla costume. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Vegas
I
is a lot
didn't
better.
see anything political one way or the other in Vegas. I just saw drunks and partiers. Like,
yeah. It's mostly like, honestly, it's not like in the Northwest, it's a lot of, like you're saying, a lot of they thems, a lot of trans people, a lot of people with colored hair, a lot of activists, but not in Vegas. It's like mostly it's the stuff I deal with is a lot of degenerates, a lot of people, and like so many people have told me about their open relationships, and it's like, I didn't ask. That's fine. That's fine that you're doing that. But just do it over there.
Relationships in your comedy, you just said. So
yes. Yeah, it's
they
like
really liked pineapples for some reason.
It was like, thank you for sharing that. I did not ask. I don't have any follow-up questions either. You can just go ahead and just do that over there. What happened to just doing stuff at your house? That's what I have to say. I'm fine.
For example, anytime I do drugs, I always do it in the sanctity of my own home. Like
always, right? You're not doing them at the fucking Panda Express. You do it at your house.
No, I would never go to Panda Express. If I was going to do drugs at a Chinese restaurant, it'd be the China Walk. Panda Express is too corporate, too mainstream.
I don't feel it's so disgusting in my lifetime that we see people on social media like, I divorced my wife, or I like disown my mother on Facebook because they voted for Trump or Biden. I'm like, holy Christ, guys! Like that's how bad shit for some people. It's crazy.
I saw a post on X today, like an hour before the show started, where someone was quote tweeting something about like divorce statistics, and the quote tweeted post, like the one quoting responding to the divorce statistics, was like, why do we keep perpetuating the stereotype that divorce is a bad thing? And I was about to comment on it, but then I looked at their name and I saw their name and then like 6 trans flags following. I was like, oh, Not even worth the comment. Never mind. Just gonna move the fuck on.
Yeah, that's what sucks with having true friends. Like my friend Big Al, he's a huge leftist. He doesn't like Trump. I do like Trump. Like we would have 4-hour conversations because actual friends you should have. These are deep conversations with friends. Like, and Leon knows this.
I say it all the time. Paul Byersmith in the chat, my IRL best friend, is a fucking Democrat. I would not say he's a leftist because he does hate like woke culture, cancel culture, but his mentality is that like Democrat mentality is the right way to go, but woke culture poisoned what being a Democrat is. It's like, all right, so you voted for fucking Hillary, you voted for Biden, things like that, Kamala, whatever it may be. So you just that's cool. He knows I'm an open and proud. Well, I don't know about proud now after seeing this Epstein stuff, but up until recently, an open and proud Trump supporter. He knows I voted for him in 2020. He knows I voted for him in 2024. Like we have, debates about various political things and whatnot. But you know what it doesn't do? Stop us from watching wrestling pay-per-views when they come on. Or stop us from playing Magic the Gathering, or they're talking about Pokemon or whatever the shit that we're into. We do know that there gets to a point to where, okay, we're XYZ deep into the debate. We know we're not going to see eye to eye. Let's go ahead and cap it here and talk about some other shit. But by the same token, never in my life of 10 years, give or take, a friendship with Paul, have we ever been like, what, Democrat, Republican? We can't chill. Like, I'm pretty sure we hung out together fucking like on election night one of those years. So,
Leon, I've said this to you publicly or right here or off camera, whatever. It's like, besides you like murdering my kid, like there's nothing that could stop us from being friends. Simple as that.
Absolutely.
And even if you kill my kid, I'm like, I can make another one.
See, I would not murder your kid. If I really wanted to hurt your kid, I would murder you so he grows up without a father. That's how I would hurt your kid.
He's 18. He doesn't need me. Plus, he's bigger than me too. Fucker.
Okay, fair enough.
He's like this big now, like bastard.
I really can't.
Thinking in your head. What was that, Theo?
I can't imagine. I don't know. Like, I have a friend who's an out-and-out communist, and she's like a turbo feminist. And up until recently, she was a lesbian. She just divorced her wife, and now she's dating men.
Yes.
So, yeah, we got another one, boys. We did it.
You turned.
We got her. No, it's like, but we talk all the time. We've been friends for years. I can't imagine being like, she was mad at me for a while. She had talked to me for like 6 months because she said my views on relationships were misogynistic, which is crazy because she doesn't know the half of it. I censor myself so much when I talk to her, but she has no idea. But we talk all the time. We're, friends. And I can't imagine being like, oh, I don't like I don't like the way you vote, so I'm gonna not speak to you, especially with like family members and stuff like that. And if you listen to it, listen to a liberal, it's like, I'm not gonna talk to so and so from my family, and because they don't believe it, and they're like very on their high horse about it. It's always initiated by the left person, and then the conservative person who is just like, yep. Yeah, so-and-so doesn't come around anymore. I really wish. I love her to death. I wish she'd come back around. But, I'll even not talk about politics. We don't have to talk about that. I'd love to just see her. But, she's made that choice and da-da-da. And it really seems like this is being initiated by that one side. And I think this is one of these cult-like features of the woke way of thinking is that they want you to cut off anybody who doesn't think like you, and they want you to embrace your found family, which is crazy. What's crazy about that is if you hang out with people who are like turbo woke, which is like people who make woke their whole personality, they're usually some kind of they, them or whatever, and they usually got piercings in their face or whatever. All these people have a horrible disordered personalities, and they're super they have no ability to regulate their own emotions. They need to be the center of attention all the time. They're very selfish, they're unreliable, they're financially unstable. And it's like, okay, well, if that's gonna be your new family, just a bunch of assholes, that's your new family, whereas your old family is just like, come back, we miss you. Leon, your chat went down because we had a gooch in the fucking chat.
One of my best friends, we don't talk now, unfortunately. This is a relatively recent development. What up, Gooch? How you doing, homie? So I've been friends with this gal. Her name was Kate for like a decade, since the Obama era. Really, her and I've been friends. And like we always been a platonic relationship. We would spend the night at each other's houses. We would go to conventions together. So it was always just like, we're like brother and sister together, whatnot. And she knew that I was, openly again, I'm not conservative because I'm actually a fucking anarchist, but like voting part of the American thing. So like, she knew I voted for Trump the whole night. I knew she voted for Biden. She was incredibly happy when Biden won in 2020. I was like, yeah, it wasn't my vote, but good for you. Glad you're happy, the whole nine. And then November rolls around. Her and I were talking. I think the last time we spoke was in December. I hadn't heard from her for a bit. Benji, I'll get to that super chat in a moment. I hadn't heard from her in a while. So in like February or so, I reached out. I was like, hey, I haven't heard from you in a couple months because we live about 4 hours apart. So even though we talk relatively often, we only see each other a couple times a year. And so I was like, yeah, I heard from you in a while. Just wanted to check out and see how you're doing. And she went this whole digest. She's like, yeah, well, now my rights and my existence is in danger because the man that you voted for. I was like, it's a very strange way to answer a how you doing. It's been a couple months conversation. We've been friends for 10 years, but all right, I'll hear you out because we're friends. And so we start having this conversation, and she's basically saying that how could I, how could we be friends when I want, her and her people and whatnot to not exist, for people being women, because she thinks, I guess, that women are going to be put in like fucking camps or something. I don't know. And so it boiled down to me being like, you can have your views. They don't bother me. Like I've been friends with you since the Obama era. I wasn't an Obama fan. I was friends with you all throughout the Biden era. Now Biden fan, like I don't care. I just like hanging out with you, like going to conventions, cosplaying, shit like that. And I mean, I guess if you can't do that with me, that's fine. Weird to me, but go for it. And she's like, yeah, I just think that we need to take a break for a while. Friends, like take a break is a relationship thing, which we've never been in, by the way. And we live 4 hours away from one another. So that's a weird phrasing in and of itself. But I mean, like, all right, I guess doors open if you ever want to chill again. I was just I was just in the city she lives in earlier today. Like when I went on vacation about 4 hours away, it was the city she lives in. Didn't hear from her, nothing. I was like, well, she ever wants to come back, doors open, because that's how dude I am. But like, she hates the fact that I voted for Trump that badly. That seems more like a her issue than a me issue.
Yeah.
That said, I've got one more thing I want to commentate on, and then we'll start wrapping the show. I saw this post, and it rubbed me the wrong way.
Did you mention Benji's super chat?
Oh no, let's hit that now. Thank you very much. Let's go ahead and hit that now real quick, and then we'll hit blues as well. Benji coming in with some heat with a I didn't miss it. I reacted to it. Thank you very much, Paul. Where did it go? Here it is. Benji Oligar with a 5-banger. Oh fuck, he decided to super chat it. What does a pizza delivery man and a gynecologist have in common? They can both scrape and drop the box for a quick snack.
What's wrong with you, Benji?
I'm so hungry. I made it since yesterday.
Oh, man.
You know what? You're going to get a clip, and it's going to be this clip right here.
You and I are enemies now.
That's exactly how I feel about that. Oh, Chris, BCL for a 2-banger. Leon, you have a gooch in the chat. Get rid of it. I would never get rid of it. I embrace
that
the
sounds
gooch.
like the type of cheese.
And that's blue collar.
Shut up, bitch.
Alrighty. Where were we at? Oh, that's right. So this is the last thing I want to cover, and then we'll start wrapping the show. So you got this right here. Do you think modern gaming is worse compared to the past? And you've got modern gaming, and then PS1, PS2, PS3. I'll hit that in a moment, Nadia. So Angry Canadian says no. And by the way, I like AC. I don't think he likes me very much, but I like it. We streamed together multiple times. I think that he's a good dude. We very much disagree on the current cultural zeitgeist, and that's fine. Says no, older games are not perfect despite what YouTubers and X accounts say, and modern gaming is just as fun. People have nostalgic glasses fuse their skulls and are more stubborn than they realize. I mean, I think this is loads of cope, but before I give my opinions, I would like to hear your guys' thoughts on modern gaming versus...
One second.
You're going to need to take a drink for this? There you go. There you go.
Like a man.
We'll start with you, Chris.
Yeah, some people have been playing video games since Atari 2600 in fucking pole position, okay? A lot of games, yes, obviously have aged poorly over time in terms of graphics and controls. But like Leon, we used to say he loved Super Nintendo the days of, what's your favorite NES game again, Leon? Earthbound, right? I like Chrono Trigger. But like games back in the day were just Mario. It was Donkey Kong. It was Final Fantasy. It was just gaming. That was it. Now, boy, you guys, Dragon Age, Veilguard, you insert these constant modern fucking politics into your shit. Last of Us 2, another prime example, that gaming, yes, technically, obviously better. It looks better. There's better controls, but gaming was very pure back in the day because it was such a niche where it's like when something becomes popular, you fucking ruin it with your constant political pandering bullshit. Games back in the 80s and 90s and 2000s didn't have they, them. They didn't have all this woke ideology. Halo, it was just a fucking super soldier killing aliens. That was it. Mario is a fat Italian plumber stepping on mushrooms. So gaming has devolved in some ways. Graphically, yes, it's better. But in terms of politics, fuck that. This is why we all buy 80s and 90s emulators for it. This is why games on Switch are selling that are from the 80s and 90s. And games nowadays are bombing.
Well, I don't have too terribly much to argue with that, but I will come to that in a moment. I want to get everybody's thoughts before we do. What about you, Theo? As somebody that, you said 360 era was like peak for you, but I assume you kept up with some semblance of modern gaming. So you see something like this, and what are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, think about this. Like, okay, let's take a really, really popular franchise. Let's look at Dragon Age, right? Look at Dragon Age, banger, lots of great entries, right? And then we look at the new Dragon Age that just dropped and how much that sucked. Oh, yeah. And why did it suck? Why did it suck? Because it was absolutely infected with modern politics. And it was just like, oh, God, I hate this so much. It's people just want to engage in escapist entertainment. And it used to be like not everything had to have a political message, and making characters ugly on purpose. People hate that shit, man. I will say there have been some bangers. I think the Japanese are still making cool games. Like they're not caught up in the stuff that we're caught up with right now. Like I think Elden Ring was a fucking banger. And they're not caught up with all the same stupid ideas we are, but I would definitely say Western gaming. The other thing too is they made it games used to be more harder, and it was a good thing because was actually it meant something to finish. They didn't treat you like a moron, and they didn't hold your hand and make it super easy and give you 1,000 on-screen prompts to figure everything out. Like, and there used to be timed missions. Like, do you guys remember at the end of the first Halo that fucking like warthog obstacle course you had to drive that was timed? I hated that shit when I first did it, but like now, like exactly, the chat's saying skip the boss mode where you can actually like skip over bosses and stuff like that. Like they've taken away a lot of the challenge. And look, if you don't like difficult games, then you just play Animal Crossing. You know, like that's for you, and that's fine. I'm not shitting on people who play Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing is wonderful, but yes, it's part of the point. And one of the reasons Elden Ring did so well is Elden Ring reminded me of games, old school games, where it was like, fuck, I'm really getting my ass kicked here. I actually have to adapt to this because it's difficult. And and then you get some kind of like meaningful sense of like, yes, when you finally do beat something. And I don't know.
An accomplishment, it is worth so much more when you have to earn it as opposed to it being given to you.
Yeah.
But I'm also fine with it. Also, I mean, not the same way as Theo was saying, but like our friend Nadia, for example, she's playing Expedition 33. She's playing on this game on story mode, which is fine. She doesn't got to play the game on hardcore mode because Nadia's not a big hardcore gamer. Make games accessible, but also, like you said, Theo, it's like they took Lara Croft and she looked like Cindy. She had a big fucking huge double D chest, and she make her flat chested and Mary Sue, and she's perfect and relatable. Like, stop making video game characters heroines like all disgusting and fat. Like Lara Croft weighing 300 pounds would not be Tomb rating
in a wheelchair.
Yeah,
should be buffet rating. What about you, Cindy? What are your thoughts on classic versus modern? Because I know that like you played a lot of games, then you moved to like MMORPGs only. You're getting back into non-MMORPG games, so you had like a gap there. So do you have like a frame of reference for this, or?
Actually, no, because I played more computer games, but than consoles, because I didn't own a console until pretty late. But yeah, no, I miss the old ways. I miss when people could say what they wanted. People, like, even in games when they would call other characters retards. It's like, I miss that. Those were gamer words. Those were when people didn't really care, when people cared more about the story than they did about other people's feelings.
That's so.
Well, there's a line here that really just bothered me. It says, no, older games are not perfect despite what YouTubers and X accounts say. Well, nobody was saying old games are perfect. Like, here's the thing. Back in the days when games were not online, couldn't be patched, whatnot, developers had to finish their games and make them playable. And guess what? Some of those games weren't. And we trashed those and became laughing stocks. Sonic 06 is a laughing stock. That's an old game, guys. That game is 20 years old next year. That game is closer to the original Sonic the Hedgehog than any Sonic game coming out now. Like, we lambasted that game for 20 years for being one of the most broken releases in gaming history. Big Rigs is a notoriously bad game. However, the majority of games had to be finished and good and operational, and that's why they've stood the test of time. Whereas you get games now, and they're not functional on day one until you get this, 8 gigabyte to 80 gigabyte fucking day one fixed patch or whatever. So that's what, even if we were to take the ideological, modern stuff out of it, gaming nowadays, I do think is objectively worse because you've got things like microtransactions, because you like DLC, because you have games that put story first above gameplay. Like, there's all these aspects that were not there 20 years ago because gaming was in a very different industry. It was very niche. It was not the number one entertainment industry in the world like it is now, at least in terms of the financial aspects of it. So no, I do not think modern gaming is just as fun. As somebody who's been playing games for 30-ish years, I don't have as much fun with the majority of modern games. Are there diamonds in the rough? Absolutely.
Definitely.
But we shouldn't have to be searching for those diamonds in the rough. It should be as easily accessible to just go to Walmart and buy a game like it was back in the day. And holy shit, it was good, even though we'd never heard of it. I don't think nostalgia glasses have anything to do with it. I mean, they've got some in terms of like, oh man, I love this game. I missed this game. I missed Jak and Daxter. We haven't had a Jak and Daxter game in 15 years. Whatever. You might have nostalgia glasses for certain games, but in terms of the overall medium, no, I don't think it's nostalgia glasses at all. And I don't think there would be the vast majority of people on the internet talking about the state of modern gaming with such negativity if it wasn't, if that wasn't the case.
I mean, I would say the gaming is just like the movie industry. People say, oh yeah, the movie industry didn't have the past 10 years. You have shit movies. Guys, I grew up in the 80s. There's a lot of 80s and 90s movies that are fucking terrible. Everybody remembers, any true gamer knows that, like, fucking E.T. bombed so bad with Atari, they made a fucking landfill with like 2 million copies. There's a lot of shitty games out there, but there's a lot of good games out there as well. There's like movies. Yes, there's been a lot of shit movies the past 10 years. Yeah, how many straight to DVD or straight to VHS films were in the fucking 80s, guys? So I don't think things have changed now. Back in the day, we had Nintendo and Sega. Now we got, like, fuck Christ, we have your phone, we have PC, we got Xbox, we got fucking PlayStation. There's more accessibility, but there is some good stuff out there.
Yeah, and I don't think anyone's saying there's not good stuff. It's that the quality of the majority is drastically released as opposed to back then.
I would agree with that, yes, but that's when something becomes popular. Comics were better in the 80s and 90s, but there are still some good comics. You just bought fucking Comics Leon showing out here where Spider-Man vs. Predator. So because now it's more accessible to remember, gaming, just like movies, comic books was considered, remember, to be gaming was normie. Now a fucking 6-year-old girl can play video games. Back in the 80s, if you told girls you play video games, you would just not get a date. That's how it was.
So does anybody here think that modern gaming is just as fun? Because I don't. It has nothing to do with nostalgia. It has everything to do with the fact that as a consumer, as a customer, as somebody who plays this stuff and makes content about this stuff, I'm not having as much fun the majority of the time. Then when I am having fun, I happily talk about it.
I'm not sure about Theo and Sydney, but like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, man, I put 120 hours into that game. Back in the day, Super Nintendo, even Chrono Trigger, I beat Chrono Trigger with 25 endings. Games weren't that long. So it's like games are longer now. It's hard to say, man.
Theo, Sydney, any thoughts on whether or not modern gaming is just as fun as it was back in the day?
Definitely not. Like, without hesitation, definitely not. They've lost what we enjoyed about games. They didn't know what the essence was. So we kind of, I don't know. I don't think we can capture that magic until whatever this political agenda that they have going on is going to get driven back out. And gamers basically take back hold of what, of the gaming space.
Sydney, we're on what playthrough is this for Resident Evil 5 for you now right now? Are we on our third playthrough over the course of the last like 3 or 4 months?
Yeah.
That game is nearly 20 years old. In 3 years, that'll be a 20-year-old game. And you and I have just like, whether we're streaming it or just playing it off stream as buddies, we're literally going through the game for the third fucking time.
And that's why they're making all those remakes, because they want people to go, hey, I want to play that. I remember when that was good. But then they mess with it, and then we get, people lose interest again.
I mean, yes and no, because like I told Leon before, saying last year, Black Myth Wukong, that game, and Leon actually got me into Black Myth Wukong. Game sold $1 billion fucking dollars. Nobody besides Leon and maybe like Vex talked about it. Everyone's bitching about Gollum this and Star Wars that and fucking woke this Dragonville. Black Myth Wukong sells $1 billion in sales. Why is nobody on YouTube covering it for?
I mean, a lot of us were, but they were being labeled as anti-woke chuds, and like, oh, they're just buying this game because it's the developers didn't use Sweet Baby Ink. It's like, well, yeah, man. In 2022, or maybe it was really early 2023, we were talking about Black Myth Wukong on Saturday Night Hypnosis.
Yeah.
Do people remember that?
Yeah.
No.
Well,
do people care about that? No. But we were talking about that shit 2 years before it even came out.
I think you even had Yellow Flash, and as much as I don't like him at the moment, Endymion like talking about it. Yeah. So it was addressed. It's because it did so well, and people were like, "Well, duh," people stopped talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe it's because it depends on YouTube, who you follow, but like these people, the people that will cry that like everything's woke and garbage, they'll stream Star Wars Outlaws. They won't stream Black Myth Wukong, and I'm like, well, it's a great game. Then stream a great game. Like, nah. I want to get fucking clicks and views for a shitty game, and then bitch to their audience like, "There's no good games in 2024." I'm like, no, there's great games actually. You're not.
Conversely, you got somebody like Hypno who streamed both games. Well, I don't know if he did Star Wars Outlaws, but like he'll stream these quote unquote woke games. Then he'll stream Silent Hill 2 or Black Myth Wukong, or like he just streams everything because he's a fucking gamer. But he gets consistently called anti-woke chud. Okay, wait. What is it he wants to do? Because the comparison I've heard so many times is that, you spent the last 6 months bitching about this game and now you're streaming it. Okay, what was your argument was you guys don't play games. Okay, so now we're streaming these games, and now your argument is, you're streaming it to make money off a bad game. What do you want us to do? Do you want us to either not play the game and bitch about it, not know what we're talking about it, or do you want us to play the game, know what we're talking about, and make content? You can't have it both ways. Pick one.
Yeah,
games are, you know what? I know this isn't exactly what we're talking about, but yeah, games are actually more unfinished now than they were back then. Like, you never bought unfinished products. You got to keep your game. You owned it.
Bro, can you imagine going to Walmart buying a clock that stops at 7? Like,
you need a subscription service for time.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
All right. I think it's about time to wrap this up because Nick's stream started 3 minutes ago, and we're going to raid into that.
The Patriot.
I'm
good movie.
On that panel. Are you on that panel? Are you covering the Patriot with
us? I'll be in the chat. So.
You'll be in the chat? Yeah. Right on. Well, then let's go ahead. I'm going to set up the raid while I do. Chris, tell the people who you are, what you do, where they can find you.
You know me, Leon. I just get drunk, cover stupid shit. BVS on Wednesday. Enzo said, let's do BVS, the director's cut, because everyone says BVS director's cut is better. It's 3 hours long. So
it absolutely is. BVS, the director's cut, adds 40 minutes of absolute necessity. BVS, the director's cut is fucking awesome.
And we're covering that, Leon. And like you said, dude, I will never cover the Sonic films. I'm with you, Leon. I'm not the biggest Sonic fan, but I will admit that I love all three Sonic films. I cover Sonic 3 with you, so I will not cover Sonic until you're available. So we'll figure it out.
And I will be available very soon. I've got one more week before some things.
So we'll figure it out, bro. Yeah,
I can't wait. Theo, my man of the hour. Your stuff is in the description. Chat. I know I said we're wrapping up. Make sure you stick around for 2 reasons. One, I want you to sub to my boy here. But number 2, this stream will redirect into Masculine Mondays where we're covering the Patriot. It's already started. I'll be getting there slightly late because we're here. But we're going to cover the masculinity to be found in the Patriot. The Mel Gibson movie is the 4th of July special on Nick, the Plot Tracks Back channel. So make sure you stay around. Wait till the end credits roll, and it will redirect you there. Let's show up for our boy because I want to see this motherfucker get monetized. He is so close. Theo, tell the people who you are and what you do, where they can find you, the whole 9.
What's up, everybody? My name is Theo Snodgrass. I'm a comedian and podcaster out here in Las Vegas, Nevada. I host a little show called Touch Grass with Theo Snodgrass. We go live 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time every Saturday. That's over on my YouTube channel. That's the best place to go ahead and find that. Go ahead and sub to that. That'll be awesome. Also, if you want to see me do live comedy, I'm going to be out here in Las Vegas. I'm going to be at Buck's Tavern on the 9th. I'm going to be at the C3 Restaurant and Lounge on the 10th. And then I'm going to be at Wise Guys Comedy Club in Salt Lake City, Utah on the 12th. I'm going to be all over the place. I'm going to be later this month. I'm going to be in places such as Seattle, Portland, Coos Bay, Spokane, Washington, Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. I'm going to be all over the place, right? And so if you want to find out all the
Coeur d'Alene, you better hook up with my boy. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Not hook up in a gay way, but you know what I mean.
Pause.
Yeah,
no. It's going to be great. But like, listen, if you want to keep track of all the cool stuff I'm doing, follow me on X, follow me on YouTube, follow me on Instagram, follow my Linktree, do all that stuff. And that's how you can keep track of all the cool stuff I'm doing. I would love to see you guys in the chat on Touch Grass. I think you guys are really going to like my show.
Cindy, you're finally back. Are you going to be making, videos, regular streams, the whole nine? Are you back?
I am not back yet. I won't be back until Wednesday. I will be doing a late night stream Wednesday, but I also
2 days from now. Yes, you're back.
Well, I won't be streaming until then, and I will be on Eclectic. Oh, gosh, I can't say her name. Eclectic Goats channel. Yes, or covering Daybreak, I think is the name of the series. I haven't watched it yet.
Right, Monkey Sturgeon, don't you fuckers leave. We're rating Nick. Stay and rate Nick. At least give the motherfucker a like. If you don't, fuck you.
Nick just had a good one come on, so
Oh,
sorry, continue, Cindy.
But yeah, I'll be there on Wednesday. I will start streaming at night again on Wednesday, and I will have a schedule. Damn it, I will have one.
That's right.
So yeah.
Last but not least, you got me. Guys, there are going to be some changes coming to the channel very soon. We're doing daily videos and daily streams. That is literally starting a week from today at the latest. Possibly starting Saturday, but definitely starting on Monday at the very latest. So we're going to be, and of course, we've got Tinfoil Haters tomorrow, Neon Leon this coming Friday. So all the streams, all the videos, check out the back catalogs. I've released a few videos over the course of the last few days that are not doing so hot because I've fallen out of the algorithm due to infrequent uploads because of some life changes. But that all changes literally soon. So yes, if you did not like, comment, subscribe, the whole nine. For those of you that send in the super chats, you never need to, but you do. Thank you so much. It means the absolute world to me. Again, make sure to subscribe to all my panelists here. BCL, Theo, Cindy, they all have channels, and could not be doing this without us, and I could not be doing this without them. So without that being said,
Nick,
yeah, exactly. That's what I was about to say. All that being said, let's raid into Nick. Let the redirect send you on over there. Give him a like, subscribe, show up in the comments. It's going to be fantastic. So we support our own here. And until next time, it's all here in the Nerdosphere. And this has been Words of Paradise. Also, I forgot.